Evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. Sir, your mic is turned off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Good evening.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, my co-speaker Bhaskaran is also here, I believe.
Yeah. So, Dr. Deepak, you will be taking around 30 minutes, correct?
Yeah, around 25 to 30
Okay,
minutes.
fine.
Correct. The rest
Okay,
of things will
fine.
be yours. Only just brief background about Sustainable Development Goals,
Okay.
ESG, and then
So now,
you are the yeah.
Okay, fine. So 6 o'clock we start. I will start at 6:30 p.m.
You're right.
Okay. Thanks.
But you can be on standby. If I finish early, you can join our starters early.
Yeah. Okay. Fine.
So yes, Dr. Chetan and Professor Seema, let us know when we can start.
Yes, sir. Within 5 minutes, we will start, sir, because again, only 32 participants have joined. We have total
Okay.
to 49 participants. Just we will wait again for 5 minutes.
Okay, so meanwhile, can I start sharing my slides so that
Yeah. Yes, you can do, sir.
so that later on there is no waiting time for that, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can't go there. Google Meet. I go to entire screen. Okay. Now, are you able to see slides?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'll go to full screen. Are you able to now?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, good. I will move on. Okay, are you able to see this also? Second slide.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can see.
Wonderful. I will stop sharing now.
Okay. We'll wait for 5 minutes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
So we have back here. Okay. So almost there are 49 total. Okay. How many participants are there, Professor Seema?
Hello.
How many participants are there total?
Actually, sir, 200 above participants are there.
Oh, they are registered, but I think okay.
Yes, yes.
Today is a Ganesh Chaturthi, so how many will join?
Yes, sir. We have prepared one WhatsApp group. In that, I message all them.
Okay.
So, without wasting time, good evening, all.
Good evening, ma'am. Good evening, all.
It gives me immense pleasure. Hello, can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yes, yes. Perfectly audio.
Good evening, everyone. It gives me immense pleasure to extend a heartfelt welcome to all the dignitaries and members present for today's AICTE online ATAL 6 days faculty development program 2025-26 on next gen manufacturing embracing industry 4.0 organized by Sri Balasaheb Mani Shikshan Prasarak Mandal's Ashok Mani group of institutions. It is my privilege to anchor today's proceedings. Let me begin by warmly welcoming our esteemed dignitaries. I heartily welcome our respected director, Dr. S.R. Chowgule ma'am, a dynamic and visionary leader who always encouraged academic excellence and innovation at every level. I extend warm welcome to our coordinator, Dr. Seema Patil, myself, and co-coordinator, Dr. C.R. Dongasani, sir. It is my great pleasure to extend a warm and heartfelt welcome to all the participants of this AICTE ATAL Faculty Development Program. Today, we are honored to host a distinguished personality, Dr. Deepak Vaikar, sir, an internationally renowned expert in power, sustainable clean energy, management, and territory education transformation. Dr. Vaikar, sir, began his illustrious career as an assistant director at the National Power Engineers Training Institute in India. Following his post-graduation from Banaras Hindu University, with over 3 decades of rich experience, he has been associated with leading institutions, polytechnics, and universities in India, Singapore, and globally, including British and Australian universities offering courses in Singapore. He has authored books, research articles, policy papers, and delivered keynote across North and South America, Europe, Australia, New Zealand, Africa, and Asia. His exceptional contributions have been recognized with several accolades, including the prestigious IEEE PES Outstanding Power Engineers Award in 2003. Currently a senior member of IEEE USA and life member of an Institution of Engineers India, Dr. Vaikar sir has dedicated his career to advancing sustainable energy development, leadership in education, and mentoring faculty, students, and professionals worldwide. We are privileged to have him with us to share his knowledge and guide us through his transformative learning journey. On behalf of organizing committee, I extend warm welcome to you, sir, and look forward to your insightful session that promises to inspire and enlighten us all. Again, we have the privilege of hosting a highly esteemed international professional, Mr. Bhaskaran S. Sir, the Managing Director of Invo Systems Solutions Private Limited, Singapore. With over 35 years of rich experience in education, training, research, consultancy, and management, Mr. Bhaskaran sir has made significant contributions across diverse industries, including power, oil and gas, telecom, healthcare, and automation. He is not only an expert in IT and consulting, but also a passionate sustainability practitioner and activist, dedicated to saving our planet for current and future generations. He is the creator of the award-winning Planet Sustain mobile app, an innovative platform designed to measure and monitor consumption-driven carbon footprints. Through this initiative, he has been actively engaging business, SMEs, individuals, and students worldwide to adopt responsible consumption practices and reduce their environmental impact. We are honored to have him share his profound insights on smart tools for measuring and monitoring consumption-driven carbon footprint, a topic of immense relevance in today's world where sustainability and actionable change are critical. His dedication to spreading awareness through IEEE conferences, sustainability events, and webinars reflect his commitment to creating a greener, more responsible future. On behalf of, again, organizing committee, I warmly welcome you, sir. and express our gratitude for accepting our invitation to guide us through this session. We look forward to your valuable expertise and thought-provoking insights on the given topic that will surely inspire and enlighten us all. Let us give both of him, a big round of applause as we begin this enlightening journey together. Over to you, sir.
Welcome, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
welcome.
Okay, thank you very much, Director, Organizing Committee member, distinguished members of the ATAL Organizing Committee. With your permission, ma'am, I would like to share my slides.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, and if there is some echo, everything, you just tell me how to adjust, and I will do the needful. Okay. Yes, is it visible, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Perfectly visible.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, now, thank you very much for inviting us. Myself, Bhaskaran are there. I think I would like to also mention our another colleague, Dr. Vincent Lim. Because of his now engagement, he may not be able to join us, but myself and Bhaskaran will take care of whatever we mention in this topic, okay?
Yes.
How to design and smartly deploy sustainability and decarbonization features, okay? Our portfolio, whether it is in science, technology, engineering, education, or in your projects or research, okay? And thank you very much for the kind introduction of both of us. I will go very quickly. Introduction has been done. The agenda for today: Sustainable Development Dilemma, Sustainability Decarbonization Portfolio, Challenges, Opportunities, Summary and Conclusion. And then you will have wonderful interaction with Bhaskaran. So I know all of us are from academics, then we are ready to listen from the practitioner very soon, okay? So to begin this one, obviously we need to understand why this sustainability is so important. So I'm asking very simple question, and those of you who can put in chat box can give your answers. Is there a scope for hope? Okay, considering our quest for modern and luxurious lifestyle. Okay, yes, we want big houses, we want good vehicles and everything. Geopolitical conflicts. Okay, all of us know that Middle East crisis is going on. Russia-Ukraine war is still going on. Rising population. Okay, Earth has now more than 8 billion people. Now they require a lot of resources, and our addiction to oil. We are still using diesel, petrol, gas predominantly for transportation and other things. Okay, that being the case, is there a scope for hope? You can put in chat box yes or no. Okay, scope for hope or not hope. Okay. The question arises why it has happened, because what type of development we should aspire to, and we have choice as such. Okay, but sometimes we do not have choice. Or sometimes, okay, some of them feel it, but more and more you will come to know that we have choice now. Suppose you have a choice as of today. On your right hand side of the screen, you will see that polluting industries, we are polluting waters, we are dumping, okay, all effluent into the rivers and sea. Transportation system is full of, okay, congestion as well as pollution. Okay, that is on one side, and on the left hand side, a cleaner, and more conducive to the human development. If you have a choice, what type of development you should choose? On the left hand side, sustainable, jackass. On right hand time, destructive, bhakas. You decide, okay, jackass vikas, yeah, bhakas vikas. Okay, sustainable development or destructive development. Choice is entirely ours, okay. Okay, and that is where the question comes about sustainability. What is it? Okay, what is it sustainability they talk about? Okay. Now, according to United Nations, more than, I think it has passed more than 15, 20 years, more than that, okay, they have been discussing about sustainable development goals. And they mentioned that sustainable development can be defined as a development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generation to meet their own needs. And to help help this one, United Nations has come up almost with 17 goals, okay? And they are addressing various aspects of our life, locally and globally. Now, the 17 goals, but we will be focusing mainly here on goal number 4, quality education. Through this FDP, ATAL FDP, we are bringing quality education to all those who are interested in. Then goal number 7, why it is important, we'll say because majority of the pollution we talk about greenhouse gas emissions is happening because of use of fossilized fuel. If we move to affordable and clean energy, then we may be able to control that. Then obviously we need clean water and sanitation and climate change. Okay, these are the 4 goals we will be focusing on, and in between, I think probably Bhaskaran might touch more. Okay, but okay, and that is where it comes in. After sustainable development goals are for governments, individuals, or something, but when it comes to industry, we need ESG standards. Okay, environmental, social, governance. It is a framework predominantly for the organization to assess their risk and manage it, which is very much related to the sustainable development goal like climate change, biodiversity, water efficiency, energy efficiency, carbon intensity. Okay, so these are the things. That is why I will be focusing on a couple of them. Environmental management system is there. Obviously, as a social, we want health and safety and equal opportunity and more. Responsible consumption. And governance-wise, definitely we need to follow not only business ethics or governance ethics, compliance with that, independent boards, and more. Okay. Obviously, if we can manage bribery and corruption, that will be fantastic. So the goal has been set according to many models that at present we are using 85% fossilized energy globally, and by 2030 they want to reduce from 85% to 75%. And then they have also set a very ambitious goal. By 2050, they want to even go down further from 75% to 50%. So if we can reduce our reliance on oil, gas, and coal, and even to some extent natural gas, then they feel that we can reduce greenhouse gas emission, because 2/3 of the greenhouse gas emissions are coming from fossilized use of energy. Okay? So we need to do that one. And therefore, again, choice for us is straightforward. On the left-hand side of the screen, you'll say, do we want to use fossilized energy, whether it's oil, natural gas, or coal? Or on the right-hand side, use science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. We call STEAM education, like solar photovoltaic, solar thermal, standalone, grid-connected, micro-hydro, and even now they are talking about the micro winds and bio. So on the left-hand side, again, if we continue our fossilized use, this is a destructive one, because on right-hand side, if we use these renewable types of energies, then we are going towards Jhakas. Okay, sustainable. Choice is entirely ours. Put in chat box. Okay, which one is your choice? Jhakas or Jhakas, destructive or sustainable? Now, why that energy is, that is what one part is energy, and I think my colleague Bhaskaran will tell you because why I'm mentioning about it. Your energy consumption is going to contribute to your carbon footprint. Second is your water. Okay, water management. Definitely nowadays we are seeing many places there are floods. In some other places there are droughts. Like even in some parts of Africa there are droughts now. Now, how the water can be managed? Obviously, rainwater needs to be managed. Somewhere we have to store it, but because of climate change, cloud burst is happening, and storm water needs to be managed. Otherwise, there will be flooding, as you have seen in Mumbai or Pune or some parts of even New York was under flood. So every month you will find that this flooding is happening somewhere or other. Now, obviously, to meet the water requirement, we need to have systematic water management systems. Seawater can be converted into desalination water, which is happening predominantly in Middle East. Singapore also has it. Okay, rainwater reservoir, then you use it, you purify and use it for the drinking purpose and other purposes. less quality water, they call it for use by industry. And then in Singapore, they're talking about retreating the sanitation and make it new water. So there are various ways you can manage it such that water is accounted for. And if you want to use water, we need energy also. And we can use water to generate energy also. That is one part. Second, so energy, water, and third most, which will contribute to your carbon footprint, is waste, whatever the waste we generate. At present, we generate huge quantity of waste, okay, all over the world. All over the world. Singapore is not exception. And predominantly, they are using burn and dump waste, okay, approach. And that is destructive way. It is happening now in many places. But advanced countries have moved to converting the waste into energy, bio-waste into energy. Okay. Singapore has incineration plants, okay, which will convert waste into energy. This is a systematic engineering process wherein whatever the waste is brought to the digester, from digester it is converted into the natural gas, and the gas is then used for either heating purpose or generating electricity. Okay. And good part about this kind of development is whatever the waste is coming, that can be converted into a manure and that can be used for biofertilizers. So this is a systematic process. Choice is ours, okay, whether we want to use bio-waste to energy. And again, choice is for us to decide: sustainable, convert waste into energy, which will give us green economic future, or continue to dump, burn, and get polluted. Okay. What does that mean is we need to apply energy management system, ENMS, okay, which helps organization to better manage their energy use, thus improving productivity. This is ISO, international standard, ISO 50001, okay. And if we use this one, then what it is saying, okay, it came around 2000. I had a privilege of being with World Energy Council, and they came up with the WEC statement. Energy efficiency is one of the important steps in our quest for sustainability. Okay, to achieve energy efficiency in entire energy supply and utilization chain. Okay, United Nations also mentions energy efficiency as one of the important aspects, along with renewable energy. So generation, transmission, distribution, utilization, entire energy chain, if we can do efficiently, we can reduce greenhouse gas emissions. So again, there is another energy agency called International Energy Agency, which has also come up with various research and suggestions that energy efficiencies offer substantial energy and greenhouse gas savings at low or negative cost, because means there is a possibility of getting some revenue in the form of carbon credit or something else. It provides energy security and reliability benefits, enhance business competitiveness and social welfare. So energy efficiency has that kind of, okay, impact. And some of them now are telling that energy efficiency is a renewable source, because every year, every few years, you can look at what are the new technologies have come and improve it. Another question arises, you must have heard about the net zero. What is that? What is the net zero? So, okay, we got this one: energy, water, and waste. They are contributing to our carbon footprint. Now, how we can go to net zero? Because that is what the goal they are looking at. Now, all of us are, when you are doing some activity, business, industry, or individual, we emit. We are emitting, and if we have some mechanism to absorb these emissions, and if both of them balance, then you have got net zero. Okay, net zero. Emissions minus absorptions equal to net zero. At present, our emissions are more, absorptions have gone down because we have burned forest, and ocean temperature is rising. Its capability to absorb more CO2s had gone down. So because of our industrial activities, because of our agricultural activities, we are in fact emitting more, and there are less absorption. And as a result, there is a net positive. And that is causing what they call global warming and climate change. Earth temperature is rising. They say almost reaching tipping point of almost 1.5 degrees. Okay, 1.5 degrees. They say 2024 was one of the hottest year, and we do not know 2025 will be again one of the hottest year. That might happen. Now, how we can change this definition? Okay, so myself, Bhaskaran, Vincent, we used to deliberate on this one and others, and we came up with suggestion. Okay, submission. Hey, if you want to focus on net, make it better, net zero, then definition we need to add 2 words. Okay, there are various other ways you can do it net zero, but what we say that okay, just add 2 words. Sustainable development can be defined as a development that meets the needs of the present, not greed. Okay, you must have heard this one, not greed. Without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs, not greed. Okay, not greed. If that happens, then we are reaching towards net zero emissions minus absorptions equal to net zero. And there is systematic process for this. Okay, it is a systematic process. You start with your 100 units, use energy conservation mechanism, you will reduce 10 to 15%. And my colleague Bhaskaran will tell you how you can do it. He has done it. I'm very happy to give you advance, okay, surprise, which he might tell you later. Then using the technology, we can improve the efficiency and reduce further 25 to 40%. It means it is in our hand, engineering, okay, management, science, and technology. We can reduce our consumption from 100 units to up to 60 units by using this mechanism. Whatever we say, many times they complain that, hey, I want to put solar panels or something, but where is the money? Okay, where is, we want to put it, where is the money? Now you save this money, which is coming to your hands, then you can invest systematically and over a period. And if you continue this process continuously, within, they are talking about 2050, you might reach, okay, closer to sustainability and net zero. So this is a systematic process which you can apply. So, and this is what exactly they are deliberating at United Nations Climate Change Conference year after year. Okay, I had a privilege of attending this COP28, which happened at United Arab Emirates in Dubai in 2023, and there they came up with the 3 important pledges. Leaders, okay, top leaders come and do the pledges. They say doubling of energy efficiency. And that is why I put those 2 or 3 slides on this one. Doubling up energy efficiency. Tripling of renewables. Okay, that is why I also put 2 slides focusing on renewables, how you can bring it, 2 or 3 slides for that. And most important, at that time, they say we want to transit away from fossil fuels. Okay, this was agreed, but something happened, 2029, Baku, Azerbaijan, they say, okay, yes, we'll triple finance for developing countries, protecting lives and livelihood. That was the good news. Adoption of rules for carbon trading, as I mentioned, this can be now used to get some revenue. There was no progress on fossil fuels. So this was that was set back. Okay, now 2030 is going to happen in Brazil, and we don't know what will be the shape now because Trump has come. So Trumpism is different. They are allocating almost $300 billion by 2035 for developing nations to adopt. Okay, but whether it will happen or not, that is challenging. So what does this mean? That we need a smart way to do it. Yes, there is a setback. Okay, yes, Trump administration is not much interested in this one. They have pulled out of Paris Accord, and that has given reason for other countries to they say, okay, we will not also follow it. But can we use smart devices? Okay, that is what now I think my colleague Bhaskaran will tell you how to use the technology. Okay, AI, AR, VR, 5G, analytics, and that is what you are going to get a gift today from him. So just to conclude, they said net zero pollution, net zero waste, net zero energy at its best, make them part of everyday routine, keep our surroundings clean and green. Okay, this is what we recommend as a vision. All of us can take it. Myself, Bhaskaran, and earlier, as I mentioned, Vincent, we have been promoting synergizing sustainability, decarbonization, and net zero vision. We invite you to be part of it. And today is a very auspicious day, Ganesh Chaturthi. Okay, on this day, you can take the blessing of Lord Ganesha and make it happen. Okay, and those who are from academics, for faculty members and students, we have designed a very powerful program. We are calling it Design Smart Sustainability and Decarbonization Portfolio and Enhance Employability and Entrepreneurial Agility. In this program, foundation will be provided by us. You are just seeing, we have today, from both of us, you are going to see only the initial part of it, but we'll do a systematic foundation program. Then there will be experiential learning, wherein you will be attached to the leaders who are doing real projects. And if you are successful and achieve very well, you get certificate of achievements, and the selected one will have potential for the self-employment consultancy and more. It is open for those whosoever is interested in sustainability, decarbonization, SDG, ESG, and net zero. Okay, please connect with us through the organizer, and we'll be happy to help. This is just LinkedIn. So thank you very much. We are here to support you. With this one, I will hand it over to my colleague Bhaskaran. Yes, there you go, Bhaskaran.
Yeah, could you unshare your slides?
Yeah, I will stop sharing and stop.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Deepak. You're on time. So let me see whether I can finish it on time. Right, so I'm going to share my slides.
With your permission, I may have to step out for some time. Okay, will that be okay?
Yeah, okay, fine. Yeah,
you can take a.
Okay,
I think any questions, Bhaskaran can handle this. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
So before that, I'm here to. I'm sincerely very much thankful to our resource person, Dr. Deepak Vaikar sir, for delivering such an insightful and inspiring session on sustainable energy, leadership, and educational transformation. Your vast experience and practical insights have truly enriched this faculty development program, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you for giving us opportunity. Now, I do not take much time with Bhaskaran. Okay, he has a lot of things to tell to you, and I think we'll meet again on Saturday. Okay.
Yes, yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. I think you have to go to full screen, Bhaskaran. Bhaskaran, you have to go to full screen.
Yeah, that's my challenge with
Google. Yeah, you go to previous slide. Go back to previous slide. The first slide you have got, and then put full screen. On your, there is a small boxes there, you can see either through that or go to your PowerPoint slides and just say presentation. There is one small box is there, used to come there near correct. Click that. Wonderful.
But I'm not getting full screen when I. Are you getting full screen?
No, not yet. I think you are not clicked on that. Are you on PowerPoint slides? Are you on
PowerPoint
slides?
I've already clicked on full screen.
Try one more time. Close and start again. Otherwise, because you are in editing mode, so you make a stop sharing, or you start just close your slides and share entire screen. Share entire screen. Share now. Start sharing. Entire screen. Okay. Put entire screen.
Okay, 1 second.
There is one share box. Can you see share box?
Yeah.
And click on share and go for entire. You'll see entire screen. Go to entire screen. Then open your entire screen. On that, you'll see box. Click on that. Wonderful. Now open your PowerPoint slides.
Are you able to see?
Yes. Visible, sir.
Okay,
yes.
fine. Okay, so I need to take lessons on Google Meet every time from Dr. Deepak.
Not to worry. Okay, you are
So,
fast
Dr.
learner.
Deepak, this may also be a bit surprise to you, but instead of the work session we had planned earlier, I'm going to, present in a different way. How do we empower educational institutions, students with foundational skills to track carbon footprint and improve employability in the sustainability sector? Right. So,
Wonderful.
are you able to view my second slide?
Yes, sir.
Yes, go
sir.
ahead. Wonderful.
Fine.
Coming very
So
nice.
I'm going to, touch upon, Dr. Deepak has touched many topics, but if it's a repetitive one, I'll skip it. So we're going to know, like, what are the current global challenges, sustainability in education, and I'm going to introduce Project Sustainability Earth, Green Skills Development, and Sustainability Education Mentor, and about, how we can use a Planet Sustain mobile app. And we'll take the question and answer session, at the end of the session. So already, a lengthy introduction has been given to me. What I want to emphasize on, like I'm a hardcore, pure environment sustainable activist, which basically means, like I do not mince words questioning, be the government ministers in Singapore, what actions to be taken to save the planet Earth. Some may like me, some may not like me, but I need to do my job. Right. I'm also part of the Asia Pac Sustainability Advisory Council, which is headed by Hewlett Packard Enterprise. Anthony Neri from Worldwide has come to inaugurate. There's only 24 council members, including Nissan Motors, NUS, Schneider Electric. So InnoSystem, basically, is a 20-year-old IT company in Singapore, but we pivoted from, doing IT business into sustainability. We have been, promoting how everybody should adopt responsible consumption and then, take action to reduce the carbon footprint. And we won many awards both in Singapore and India. We were the only IT company, to be awarded, the Singapore Environmental Achievement Award. There's someone, could you please mute all the participants? Thank you. So, we were the only IT company to be awarded in the year 2023 for the Planet Sustain app, and this was presented by Singapore Environment Council, and the award was given by Minister Grace. We also partner with Singapore's Ministry of Sustainability Environment for Google ESG campaign. We've been partnering for the last 3 years, 23, 24, 25. The partnership goal is to engage every resident of Singapore to use the app for 1 month free and track and reduce their consumption by following the system practices so that they can reduce the carbon footprint to contribute to net zero goals. We also won the Outstanding Performance for Decarbonized Excellence Award from ISRE at the Cool Conclave, which was held in August 2024 at Jaipur. We also supported one of the largest South India exhibition, ACREX 2025, so that every visitor and exhibitor was given an opportunity to use the app for a month or two, and then we were guiding them how to use the app, how they can reduce the electricity consumption so that they can reduce the carbon footprint. So the world is going through challenging times, right? So healthcare challenges during COVID, rising living costs because of inflation, because of tariffs going up, ongoing wars, and then job loss and uncertainty, right? So climate change is actually a major contributor to most of this, other than the tariff which has been imposed by the Trump administration. Right. So business and jobs are disappearing. Livelihood is a question mark. Every week we'll be seeing that, TCS, Microsoft, Infosys, people are, laid off. They're not hiring new graduates, right? So this is the news what you hear almost on a weekly basis. Right. So rising living costs, reduced income, pocket money and allowance are getting reduced for the students. So they are, basically facing all the issues now because because the parents' incomes are going down, they're also facing such reduced, pocket allowances. So climate change is actually impacting planet Earth, and it's in deep danger. According to me, all life forms except for humanity practice sustainability through responsible consumption. We are the irresponsible race or species altogether. We will accumulate as much as possible, whether we need it or not. And also we keep talking about we started talking about net zero from COP and COP meetings of 1995, but we are still talking. We'll be talking for next 100 years. right? So to understand, like when we talk about net zero, what contributes to net zero? Carbon footprint, right? A carbon footprint is a measurement of greenhouse gases produced by an individual product practice organization. When you use electricity, water, gas, plastic, paper, travel, transportation, everything ultimately contributes to carbon footprint, right? As Dr. Deepak has mentioned, like we need to meet net zero 2050 in Singapore and 2070 in other developing countries, including India, right? So it's time to act. We should save the planet, and we want to empower the students. So educational institutions can launch a campus-wide environmental sustainability program for real impact. They can also, they can also onboard on Green Campus. Green Campus is not about, the campus being, like green with trees and, trees and plants and other things. Every stakeholder, be it a student, staff, faculty members, they all should, practice sustainable practices, adopt responsible consumption, and the entire campus become a green campus. That's what my definition of green campus is all about, right? But it's challenging for educational institutions to attract students to certain courses. I've been hearing this from many universities and colleges, or in general, like a student always want to choose, whether if I take up this course, whether I can get an employment. That's what they're in their mind before taking up any courses. So I also heard from professors, let's say they have a capacity of around 30 students, they get only, admission of 11 and 12. My daughter is also a lecturer in City University and data science. She also, whether the capacity, let's say 40, she gets around 30, 35. So even the professors are worried about, will they get enough students to teach? If you look at students graduation overall around the globe, right? So this also applicable to India, like engineering and technology around 20%, medical and healthcare around 5%, arts, commerce, and science around 75%. This is the graduation. So in India, it could be around around 10 million students will be graduating every year. But the unemployment fresh graduates in 2024 was between 12 to 15%. Some take, because some even students take up any job what comes to them, to survive and support their family. They may not be getting to the stream what they want to get into, but they take up some job, and that becomes employable. So in true unemployment rate could be around 20%. So, my understanding will be in 2 to 3 years, every company will need to hire a sustainability intern or employee to meet the ESG requirements, what Dr. Deepak mentioned, ensure compliance because they need to submit this reports. Otherwise, they'll face every penalty and carbon tax, avoid carbon taxes, and they also want to build a green brand. Today, consumer looks at, what is written on the back of the tin or a bottle or a package, like whether it's a green, what are the contents, what are the ingredients are there. Every brand says they're green, but technically they're not green. They just use it for marketing purposes. So, the students have this dilemma, right? The companies have this dilemma, there are a lot of job opportunities available in sustainability, but why would they hire them, because they don't have a foundational skills. So the companies will always have this dilemma, to hire or not to hire, right? What I understood in the last 1 year, I'm talking to a lot of schools, college, university, right? Secondary students have few chapters on environmental science. And maybe also be a compulsory core module for 6 months to 12 months for undergraduate students, right? There was a UGC guideline also came up last year. But there are gaps in teaching environmental science for employability in sustainability, right? They may be teaching about biodiversity, environmental science, environmental engineering, waste management, water management, but there is a gap, What is the gap? The current curriculum do not teach about carbon footprints. And there is, the experiential learning is, is totally missing out because, they only talk about, even the project work, what is being prescribed or, suggested, go to polluted sites, go to a water body, go to some, look at some insect, bees, things like that, how the pollination happens and all. But that is not going to help a student to get an internship or a job opportunity in sustainable industry. And there are also limited qualified teachers are available to teach carbon footprint. Many of the teachers they may be hearing about carbon footprint, but in practicality, they don't understand if I consume this, how does it get converted into carbon footprint, right? So even for the students, like because students, they go through, consuming electricity, water, gas, plastics, paper, and a normal day-to-day activities household. They also take public and private transport. They do not understand when they consume all this, that results in a carbon footprint. So there is a awareness is lacking among students, individuals, everyone. Right? So we have a solution with Planet Sustain mobile app. What can be done? The app could be integrated into as part of the environmental science course. Students can, it helps them understand carbon footprint. They can also take action to tackle climate change impacts, because the students are the only hope for me that they will take action. If I go and talk to an adult or an elderly person, please track and reduce your carbon footprint, reduce your consumption, you'll say, I got, hundreds of jobs, tasks to do on a day-to-day basis. I'm running pillar to pillar. I don't have time. They may have time to do many other things, but they don't have time to really understand what they consume, how does it result in carbon footprint, and what action should be taken for them to reduce their consumption and then reduce their carbon footprint, right? So in Singapore, an average per capita, will be around 9 metric ton of carbon footprint to kg CO2, but in India could be around 3 to 4 or maybe 2 to 3. Right? So what Planet Sustain app, mobile app enables is, it enables to create awareness, raise awareness, track carbon footprint, engage stakeholders like students, faculty, staff, individuals, employees, suppliers to practice sustainability. It is a simple and easy data collection tool. If there is a consent from the stakeholders, be it a student or a staff or individuals, government wants to collect some data, the consent has been given by the stakeholder who is using the app. It could be used as a training tool, onboarding tool, and also helps you to meet the sustainable development goals. It also helps to save cost saving, both personal as well as the business expenditure. You can also build a green brand and green campus, right? So I want to introduce, how can we engage, students for climate action, right? So we have a mission. It's called Mission Green Possible. We want to engage students for collective climate action by 100,000 students graduates, or 100,000. We already got 10,000 students from a university in India, right? So the project is called Planet Sustain Sustainable Earth PSPSC. What is contained? We want to engage, as I mentioned, 100,000 students worldwide, students, recent graduates, teachers, faculty members as part of this program. So, this program, basically what you need to do is you need to use the app, put in the baseline, consumption for the past 3 months, how much of electricity you have been consuming. And then from when you start the 3 months activity, you should be able to reduce 1 kilowatt hour per day. So that it helps you to save costs on a personal side, as well as contribute to nations' net zero, be it Singapore or India, to meet the net zero goals, right? So what is 1 kilowatt hour? 1 kilowatt hour per day could be using your air conditioner or aircon for 45 minutes a day. That will consume 1 kilowatt hour. Right. So our mission is to, as I mentioned, 100,000 students over the next 6 months' time. So if they start, reducing their electricity consumption 1 kilowatt hour per day, that would be equivalent to setting up a new 21 megawatt hour of solar farm, and also reduce the capex requirement, capital expenditure requirement of $21 million, and the operational requirement around $0.5 million per year. Right? Just some calculation. I'll skip this. So the activity is very simple. You onboard the students, you onboard the faculty and teachers, everybody, and then you use the app. You put in your past 3 months of only the electricity consumption, because only electricity has got, most of you will be getting electricity bill, right? Because we're not adding water, gas, and other things, because it cannot be verified, because you may not get the bill. So only electricity, because it can be verified against the bill received by you. So what you need to do is, put in your past 3 months of consumption. Let's say average consumption for past 3 months becomes 250 kilowatt hour. So from the month you start for 3 months, you need to reduce that, by 5%. Once you reduce the 5%, you met your first goal to get into the green skills training program. Right? It's a 3 simple step, basically look at your electricity bill, as I mentioned, put in, adopt responsible consumption, adopt system practices, reduce your electricity, consumption for next 3 months by, 5%. And then, also keep the bill copy, so that if you become the top 10% of the 100,000, people, then we will be calling for those bill copies to verify whether they put in the right, data into the app to get qualified. So out of 100,000 students, we will be, qualifying them, we will be ranking them, and then the top 10%, let's say if 100,000 students come on board, 10,000 students will be selected, and they'll get a free 3-month student green skills development training program. It's 100% free for the top 10%, right? So as Dr. Deepak was mentioning, somebody asked me, Bhaskar, you keep talking about sustainability, you are a sustainability hardcore practitioner. What do you do about, responsible consumption? I told them, let me take out my electricity bill. I took my electricity bill snapshot. So in October 2024, I was consuming 1,010 units, kilowatt hour per month. So in the month of March 2025, that consumptions come down to 6. This is actual bill snapshot from my Geneco electricity distributor. So it come down to 657. Not only, I reduced my electricity bill, payment to electricity company from $280 to $187, which is a saving of around $100. So on average, I save around $1,200 per year, and I'm also able to save 16% of the electricity consumption, and then reduce the mitigate the 1.718 metric ton of carbon dioxide getting emitted in the environment from my family side. Right. So we'll talk about what is Green Skills Training Development Training Program. Students, this will basically give them a focus to build a basic foundation for securing internship and jobs. That's what the Green Skills Development Training Program, which will be offering to 10% of the top 10% of the students who participate in the Planet Sustainable Earth project, right? So it will empower students with skills. It will also prepare the students with basic foundation skills for internship and for sustainable careers. And then, this is a snapshot, what they'll be undergoing during the 3-month training program. All the training programs will be virtual, online. There is no physical. We don't have the option to engage 10,000 students, in the best case scenario, to train them on premises. Some of we can share more details, once myself and Dr. Deepak, we talk to your principal or to the director of the college, how we want to engage your college on this particular program. So sustainability recognized as not only as an ethical priority, but also a competitive edge, helping to mitigate risk and unlock growth. Sustainability is a $1 trillion business worldwide. Some say it's even, $10 trillion business, because everybody talks about green finance. They all talk about, building capacity, but no country has any money to build any capacity, maybe except Singapore, Switzerland, Monaco, Malta and all. India, it borrows 30% of its planned expenditure every year. So where is the money to build infrastructure? Everybody says, I can build capacity. I can build a power plant, and I can build this, I can build that, but they don't have any money to build anything. They'll be borrowing to build, because everybody is focused on dollars, rupee, green finance, right? So we can, help students to plan a sustainable career, and then this will basically increase their chance of landing up into internship and jobs. So sustainability potential exists in every industry type, every industry, be it oil and gas, be it automotive, be it finance, be it any other industry. Every industry has got an opportunity for intern or for an employee to be part of that particular company, because that's what we believe that in 2 to 3 years time, there will be a requirement to hire interns, if not the actual employees, right? So all the roles are built, because as I mentioned, if your environmental science course is all about biodiversity, environmental science engineering, waste management, water management, but when somebody hires, they want to understand whether you have a foundational understanding of sustainability, ESG, and carbon footprint and net zero, because you need to go and look at what is the consumption being happening, track the consumption over a period of time, and then convert that into carbon footprint. Right? So students can build an alternate career path and then remove the uncertainty that exists now. When I talk to students in Singapore, you don't find that unemployability is an issue. But in India, at least 12 to 15% of students are graduate students, finding it difficult to get into the stream where they want to find a job. Because in IT companies, most of the IT companies will stop hiring once, like, because from today onward, the 50% tariff has increased. America is also talking about, scrapping H-1B visas or limiting H-1B visas. So you'll find there will be a issue, fresh graduates finding the right job at the right time, right? And they also, sometimes they are also very particular, what kind of package they want to get into. They want, if they're, let's say they're senior students that got into 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs kind of package, they don't want to get into 6 lakh kind of package now, because they feel that, no, I will wait till I get the right package, right? So, what we need to do, if your college is interested, please talk to Dr. Deepak, and then we can sign an MOU. And then we are actually started with one university, which will be starting from September. We will initially, every student has to get into a 3 months of electricity reduction program by, 5% month on month. And then we will be launching for the top 10% students. The first batch will start from February next year, March, April, continue. Or we can engage the entire college, a separate agreement, what Dr. Deepak was mentioning with you, right? So we also want to educate the teachers and professors and then train them as sustainability education mentor. Again, there's only limited 10% of the teachers and faculty members, signing up for the Planet Sustain Sustainable Earth project, where you need to reduce your household consumption by 5%. So you need to recommend the students. You can recommend your college to sign, en masse to onboard all the students. As I mentioned, we already signing up for 10,000 students. We have capacity to take up another 90,000, and maybe in another 2 to 3 weeks' time, we will also be signing one other large university in South India, which has got around student capacity of 20,000 students. Right? So when a teacher or faculty member get trained, right, they can also, do, research projects on impact assessment, awareness and mitigation actions, waste management, things like that. There are various use cases available. When you start collecting data, you have those use cases. You can generate dashboard analytics. You can also use AI to come out with modeling, predictive inferences. You can submit your thesis, things like that. And you can also become a mentor. Either you mentor a student startup incubation project within your college, or you can go to a corporate or government funding. In Singapore, there's a corporate and government fundings that are available. You can expand your research projects, right? You can also tap into state and central government ministry funding for climate advocacy. Definitely available in Singapore. It's also available from, as far as I know, the state government of Tamil Nadu has got a 72 crores funding available for green literacy. What I've been told recently by some of the CSR managers, when you go to companies who provide CSR funding and all, they don't want to give funding to, traditional education. They might be giving, but in general, in the past, CSR fundings have been given to education, healthcare, the child development and all, but now they're also looking at, green skills development, climate action advocacy. So if you go with these kind of programs, your chance of getting a CSR funding is much more higher. So we can also, as Dr. Deepak mentioned, we can also, as we are doing the faculty development program, we can run it, maybe a short 2 hours time, or we can also run it for 3 to 6 months. But the curriculum, what we need to, how you want to conduct the program has to be designed by Dr. Deepak and then approved by your college or university, right? So as part of the faculty development program or experiential learning, we can also help you to use the app so they can track your household carbon footprint so that you get an understanding when you consume, because the school, college, carbon footprint is basically water, or you got some solar farm, but that data will not be available to all of you. But we can also get the app given to you so that you use the app as part of your experiential learning, right? So we seek to collaborate with teachers, faculty members to explore, we can engage your students. We can also help you to do curriculum design where Dr. Deepak's expertise is immense, and he can do that. We can help you to create, spread the climate advocacy. We can also come on board, and then when you become an expert, you can present in our presentations and webinars, seminars and all. You can also come on board and become an advisory faculty member, right? So let me, we've been talking about carbon footprint. What is this app is all about? You can go and download this app from, Google Play or App Store. It's called Planet Sustain, one word. So once you download, after you install, giving some basics, settings, permissions, there's a free sign up at the bottom. Click on free sign up. You'll get to see a membership sign up. The first question will be asking, do you have a subscription code? You say no. Because when we onboard your students and faculty members as part of the Planet Sustainable Earth project, we'll give you a subscription code. Then you can use a subscription code. Currently, you want to use it for 1 month free. Just select no and then type in country code IND India, SIN Singapore, and then you'll get to see an option, to select either an individual free intro 1 month, a student free intro 1 month, business free intro, and then Eco Edu Mentor. You can select, because you're an educator. Select the Eco Edu Mentor option, which is 1 month free. Select that and then put in your email ID. Do not use Yahoo email, because we've seen sometimes Microsoft is not sending the links to verify your email and to share the membership ID and password to Yahoo email. Just put in your other emails, official and Gmail, Hotmail and all. Put in your name, first name, last name, put in your city and put in your postal code, submit, and then it will mention that, you need to go and verify your email. Sometime, the verify email, if it's the first email from anyone, it might land up in junk or spam folder. Go and look for this email from admin@invosystem.com, verify the email. After 5 minutes, you'll get your membership ID and password. Use that membership ID and password in the login page and then click on login. You'll get to go to a sustainability homepage. You'll see that there are a lot of energy types. Now, for me, everything is energy. When you spend, that results in carbon footprint. Electricity, transport, water, gas, oil, plastics, paper, travel, transportation, and then waste, and then new purchases. All this options are available for you to understand. Even for the project, for 3 months project, we were just going to track only the electricity. I'm going to show the process is the same. It's only 3-step process. I'm going to show electricity, right? So click on electricity icon or image. You'll get to see a blank screen. Now you got to go and select, the fuel type. Fuel type is when you want to produce electricity, what is the source for that producing electricity? In Singapore, it's natural gas, 95% natural gas. In India, it could be coal, hydro, nuclear, wind, solar and all. So you select, if you know it, select. Otherwise, select electricity supply is a common. So select one type, and then click plus. You'll go to the next screen. There you'll see on top electricity supply. What is the unit of measurements? Kilowatt hour. In India, they call units, but it's actually 1 kilowatt hour. Right. And it'll also give you, what is the carbon emission when you use 1 kilowatt hour at home, office, anywhere else? Because we use natural gas in Singapore, it's 0.4057. It's called emission factor. This is for your information only. All that you got to do is select a month, in a calendar year. You select, let's say, from Jan to now it's August, Jan to July. You select a month, and then I've selected April 2024. I put in my consumption of 963 kilowatt hour. I click on plus. So I can see that for consuming 963 kilowatt hour, my carbon emission, kg CO2 is 391. This is as simple as that. You take transport, because you are taking private transport, driving your car, vehicle, you need to put in the number of liters of petrol or diesel you buy. You take public transport, then because you don't know how much of diesel or petrol they put in, so you got to put in the number of kilometers you travel up and down. Water in cubic meter, gas, oil, again, plastics, all those, you will also see what is the unit of measurements used to calculate that. It's very simple, it's 3-step process only. So once you enter, it will not take more than 10 to 15 minutes. You are entering all data in the Plant Sustain app. Or if you just say entering electricity, it's 2 to 3 minutes job every month. Look at the electricity bill and then look for the units, kilowatt hour, and then enter that. That's over. So you can also look at, all the energy types you have been using, you're entering data, what is the carbon kg CO2, why that has come up, is it because you've been consuming in quantity, kilometers, kgs, kilowatt hour, cubic meter, liters. And then at the bottom, there's also offset, planting trees, recycling, and then donating books and clothes. If the college can also, I'm sure you'll be doing, you can ask all the students to bring, one day or once in a semester, bring all the books which can be given to other students. Bring clothes which is wearable, which you don't wear it because you bought it for one occasion, so it's lying in a cupboard. You can donate other. So all that contributes to carbon offset because you're not recreating those books, you're not manufacturing, you're not using dyes and all for producing clothes and all. So this is for your information only. It's a dashboard, single page dashboard. You can also look at scope 1, 2, 3 by clicking 1, 2, 3 icon. This basically will give you scope 1, 2, 3. What is scope 1? Whatever's under control. Well, let's say you're driving a vehicle, you're buying petrol, diesel. You can decide not to drive your own vehicle, take a public transport. That's under your control. It's called direct emission, right? Scope 1. Scope 2 is, it's an indirect. You consume electricity. Mostly scope 2 is electricity only. So that's because it's not under control. You just use it as service. All of the things are defined in scope 3, be it when you take travel, transport, all of the things are defined. Suppliers, upstream and downstream consumption, all of the things are defined in the scope 3. This is for your information only. So as part of services, we started, we started our service by raising climate awareness and advocacy. Then we started getting into tracking and reducing carbon footprint. We started getting into climate action for net zero, integrating Pan Sustain app into the curriculum. We want to engage students as part of green skills training program. We also want to engage faculties to train them as sustainability education mentors. We want to empower individuals, communities to take action so that they can contribute to net zero. We also have a business version. The same app can behave as a transformer of businesses. Business SMEs, because they will be required to submit the ESG reports. Even an SME, there was one SME called SME for Maruti. They approached us, they said, we don't understand carbon footprint, and we go to a consultant, they're charging very heavily. So what do we do? So every big company will start demanding from the small SMEs, like, give you a carbon footprint, give you an emission factor, because we got to include ESG reports. So, I will conclude in the final 2-3 slides. Now, you cannot outsource your fitness and healthy eating habits to others, right? It's similarly climate action. Don't leave it for others. You got to take action because you are the sole reason. You are the only person responsible for, the climate change is impacting our planet Earth. So you got to take action. You got to do your climate action social responsibility. So it requires behavioral changes. It also requires behavioral changes in terms of individuals, students, staff, employees, suppliers, and all. It also requires systemic design changes from, government, businesses, supply chain, and all. I can discuss this in detail, but in the interest of time, I'll just skip it, right? So it requires a passion, commitment, and determination as well. Shift from being a consumer to becoming a planet Earth guardian. You should understand. Our ancestors have left this world at least livable, habitable to some extent. Dr. Deepak was mentioning about Mumbai, Pune, Delhi. Forgot to mention about, Bangalore, right? Bangalore has gone to dash. It gets flooded. You stay in the traffic for 2 to 3 hours. So, there is no commitment at all. Even when any government comes, they will be doing what they want to do, right? Make money. They'll not worry about any individual, any public, to do activities. Otherwise, why Mumbai is getting flooded every year, right? If governments are so efficient, why the Mumbai is getting flooded, why Bangalore is getting flooded every year, right? So you need to take action because we are the only people who can take action to save the planet Earth for current and future generation. Many of us think, we will pass on our gold, our cryptocurrency, our assets, our cars, everything to our children. But if the children do not have an habitable Earth, what is the use of passing on all the assets? So your job is to educate, engage them, and empower them to follow their guidelines to adopt responsible consumption system practices, so that students are the best. So for us to take this climate action to the ground. Right? So as Nelson Mandela said, it's always seems impossible unless it's done. And as Mahatma Gandhi said, what I changed this a little bit, but it's always seems impossible unless it's done. But when you become the change you wish to see in the world, anything is possible. There's the light is the end of the tunnel, but we got to make effort to walk the step, walk through the tunnel to see the light, which is sustainability. Right? So you can go and find more details on, https planetsustain.org, or you can write to us either to Dr. Deepak or to me. And we are open to any question and answer. I hope I've completed in time to answer some of these questions. Dr. Chetan, Dr. Seema.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yeah. So,
You can ask me any question. I will try to answer, but my answer will be very blunt, very straightforward, because you can answer any question. If it's possible for me to answer, I will answer those questions.
yeah, yes. Dear participants, we would like to open the floor for question answer session. So if you are having any question, you can ask, or you can put it in chat box. Sir, I have one question. Can I
Yeah,
ask?
please. Yeah.
So how does integrating carbon monitoring with digital sustainability platforms benefit long-term climate action plans?
So, what we're saying now, like including Dr. Deepak, as I mentioned, we cannot ask adult people, professors, lecturers, staff, individuals, take action because they don't have time. They're running pillar to pillar every day. So we want to engage students, because students nowadays, they are going through environmental science courses, even in the 9th and 10th standard of CBSE. Engineering colleges, as per UGC guideline, there is some, there's environmental science courses for 2 to 4 credits. You can correct me if I'm wrong. So if we want to integrate, why digital platform? It's an app because everybody is now comfortable. Most of the students in engineering college, they'll be using smartphone. So the app is available for them. It will help them because unless you track and measure what you're consuming, if you do not know, how much electricity you're consuming at home. I'm just taking, students' household, right? Because students, they are contributing in the college's campus also, but that cannot be under the students' control. So let's say students consuming at home, they don't have now an option. It's only academic, the academic learning is available, but experiential learning is lacking. If they know, at the household, they're consuming around 250 kilowatt hour, they're consuming around, let's say, 50 cubic meters, water, they're taking public transport, private transport. Let's say they're coming by private transport. They are aware that, by taking a private, I'm coming in a car. In Singapore, I don't take any cab or car, anything, because I take public transport only. If they are aware of that, a digital tool like Planet Sustain will help them to understand, how does the consumption is actually resulting in carbon footprint, what steps they can take, how can they mitigate. Because every country talks about net zero, right? Who will meet net zero? No business will meet net zero because they want to keep on selling more and more to you. Today only sale 90% discount, 1 + 1 free. They'll want to sell more and more. So when the service, goods and services, the cycle is increasing, it results in carbon footprint. The only person who can take action is an individual. During pandemic time, I've never bought a shirt, pant, shoe, tie, whatever it is. I even mentioned this in a radio talk in Singapore because I don't need it. So I can take action. That is what, if you can't measure it, you can't track it, you can't reduce the consumption. The digital tool like Planet Sustain will be helping everybody to understand the consumption. In the process also, it will also help them to save costs, be it on a personal expenditure or be it on business expenditure.
Yeah, yes, sir. Okay. Sir, there is one more question from Dr. Vishal Wadkar. What future advancements in technology could revolutionize carbon footprint tracking?
Could you just repeat that question again? What future
advancements in technology could revolutionize carbon footprint tracking?
No, the tracking is already there. Like, some use, like Excel sheets, some use websites to track. We are using mobile app, but it's easy to use. It's not about carbon footprint tracking. It's about, how do you really adopt responsible consumption, adopt certain practice, reduce the carbon emissions so that you can meet net zero, right? So technology, like in the past we had, like an ordinary landline telephone. Now we come to, app tomorrow. Some say like, can we automatically track? But my viewpoint, if you automatically track, it's like paying off my credit card bills. I don't really go line by line item what I spend, to pay my credit card bills unless I go through that. Nowadays I started going through that. unless you understand, put in the data in a physical format, you will not be able to understand what you're consuming, how you can reduce. So technology, I can tell you, even after 100 years, nobody will meet net zero because government has no plans to meet net zero because government wants to increase the GDP year on year. Which government will say that, no, I'll stop, I'm okay to reduce my GDP, by 5% this year to meet sustainable development goals. They will not do that. So only the individual can take action. So more than, meeting up the capacity building, tracking automatically, I would suggest let's understand our responsibility. Let's track, measure with whatever tools we have available now, and then hand over an habitable earth to future generations.
Yeah. Okay, sir.
In fact, to let you know, we have developed a system, where everything is automated. We don't do any physical work at all. We can, that's why we can engage 100,000 students, 1 lakh students, and the entire process of data collection, generating, the calculating the 5%, and then generating the ranking chart. Everything is automated. So we are at the peak of that automation. But what brings up tomorrow? You do want to pick up data from IoT devices, from drones, from transport systems, from electricity boards, and all. We don't know. Currently, we don't have permission to collect such data.
Okay, sir. Whether carbon footprint measurement is mandatory for all industries?
It's only mandatory for, in India, top 1,000 listed stock exchange companies. It is mandatory. That's why, they start submitting ESG reports. In Singapore, the Singapore SGX listed companies have to do voluntary disclosure. In Europe, it has become mandatory for a company with 200 employees. They got to submit the ESG reports. So our understanding, in Singapore, there's already carbon tax. Last year it is $5. This year become 25. Next year it's $40 per metric ton. So in 2 to 3 years' time, it will become mandatory for every, business type, including educational institutions.
Okay, sir.
So there is one question from Swapnil Thikane. What are the challenges in achieving the sustainable development goals?
The challenge, everybody does lip service.
Yeah.
They're only talkers, right? They will go to COP meetings, be it in United Arab Emirates, Baku, Azerbaijan, Brazil, or in the past various places, right? They will go. They'll take private jets, stay in 5-star hotels, have cuisine type of they will talk, they'll come back, they will not do anything. Have you ever seen a government of India giving instruction, we are committed to net zero in 2070, so everybody should reduce and meet the net zero targets? Have you got any communication so far? Individuals, schools, colleges? No, it's like a buzzword. I got around 38 years of experience. I passed out my electronics and communication engineering in 1987 October, right? So if you look at even with all this, I'm skeptic. Nobody will meet net zero. It's only a lip service. They're only talking about it. The reason why 38 years of experience, we had Y2K, right? Year 2000 bug issue, right? It will become like Y2K or .com. It's like a buzzword. Everybody wants to talk about it. They want to make money out of it, and then they want a green finance. They'll say we'll put in capacity building. No government has any money, any reserves, except, as I mentioned, a few countries, including Singapore. They're borrowing. They'll borrow. If one government borrows, the other government will borrow, saying that previous government borrowed. So they will not meet. So it's on a meeting ESG, if you give me some basic data, I can put it in ChatGPT, I can generate an ESG report for you. So, but my honest effort is to educate the children, because children are honest, disciplined. As per my understanding, they can take action, because last year in Sydney, Australia, the primary and secondary students went on strike in Sydney with the flex cards, the government is not doing enough to tackle the climate change induced impacts. So students are getting aware of it, so they can take action. So let's empower them, engage them, and then, that's what it is. If you one more thing, if you look at, if you go and attend a conference in sustainability, there'll be speakers, keynote speaker, this chair, that chair, I don't know what all chairs, like they'll be having. You ask them personally, do you know your carbon footprint? They will say, no, I'm using some, cloth bag, things like that. So that's the only, action they take. They are not truly sustainable, practitioners themselves. So they only, do it for money, even I was just telling somebody, like last year, earlier this year, I got 10,000, for speaking on FDP. I gave that as a prize money by conducting an app-based quiz. I gave 13,000 rupees as prize money back to the students. So I don't need money at all. But if somebody is giving, I will not say no. I'll give it back to the students so that I can encourage them.
Okay,
Yeah.
so there
Sir.
is one more question from
Yes.
Anupama Patil ma'am. She is asking that suggest a strategy for an educational institution to implement a carbon footprint monitoring system.
Yeah. So that's one, we can engage your college. There are 4 programs, one is, we can engage the students, faculty members, staff to use the app to track and reduce the carbon footprint. We can also integrate the app as part of your environmental science courses, because your environmental science courses lacks the experiential learning for the app. Right. If you use that, we can also, select the 10% of the faculty members and the students to go into a detailed 3 months green skills training program for the students, and then program to train the faculty members and teachers to get certified as an sustainability education mentor. Right. We can work with you. We already signing up with, we already signed up with one university consists of 10,000 students in Bangalore. The other university is coming up with 20,000, 4 campuses. So we can also work with your college. Yeah. It's absolutely free for you to track and measure your carbon footprint during the first 3 months.
Okay. There is one more question, sir. Okay. Does the energy demand of AI, automation and data centers make long-term sustainability impossible? And are we trading one environmental problem for another?
It is true, right? Today, very true. I come from IT background, right? So I understand data centers. So I ask questions because all my friends are, selling data center services, build data centers. I ask them, is data center is green? It's not green because your data is not green. Yeah. Because we keep on putting our junk data, right? So much of social media data, our photos, who sees our photos more than one time, if you put it there, right? It's okay. You can store it on your mobile site. But we upload it, even the LinkedIn has become like an Instagram now. So data centers, it's business side, it's a different matter. But data centers handling social media, data, be it images and all this, it's not green because we don't delete our data at all. Coming to AI, today AI is being exploited because it's free, right? So anything, we go and ask ChatGPT, do this for us. But ChatGPT for it, it is running, how many GPUs are being run, how much of a computer intensive, schedules are being run. So we got to be careful, so AI is not going to solve, it's not going to meet the sustainable development goals. In fact, as long as the individuals do not bring a self, behavioral change within. See, I don't put any of my, you'll not see, you will not see my, photos, I was here, I was there, I went for this restaurant, I went for this place. I'll not put all those data. My data is private. Anything you put on the social media, on the data centers, especially the consumer data, it's all being exploited, it's monetized. When the service is free, we keep on putting the data in this, in the data. You don't put in data center, but those data centers are run. So you'll have a primary data center, you'll have backup, you'll have recovery data center, it's getting replicated. All this are again, sustainability. AI is, if it's used for, good purposes, not for yes, it's in the initial stage, it's AI, we use AI for various things. But we should not exploit because every time when you use ChatGPT, there is a data center running GPUs and CPU schedules.
Yeah. Okay, sir. So participants, are there any questions? Any questions from participant side? So Dr. Chetan, shall we?
Yes, we can conclude the session.
Okay, okay, okay. So I'm here to present vote of thanks. So on behalf of organizing committee, I sincerely thank our esteemed international resource person, Mr. Bhaskaran sir, for his insightful session on smart tools for measuring and monitoring consumption-driven carbon footprint for individuals and organizations. Your valuable expertise with over 35 years of experience in education, research, and sustainability has inspired us to adopt practical approaches for reducing our environmental impact. We extend our gratitude to AICT as well as ATAL Academy for this platform and to all the participants for your active engagement. Thank you once again, Mr. Bhaskaran sir, for sharing your knowledge and motivating us toward a sustainable future. So thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
So-
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you once again. My request to all of you, consider, how your college can engage with us. It's totally free. There's no cost at all to you.
Yes, sir.
Contact us, either Dr. Chetan or yourself, but we want to engage as the students of the college, faculty members of the college, staff of the college.
Yeah,
We can launch the program,
Sure.
and then that will give you the experiential learning. Some of you may also because it gives an opportunity for students to look at an alternate career. That's what I'm saying.
yeah, yes, sir.
Yes, yes.
We'll convey the same message to our higher authority and we'll let you know.
Thank you and have a good day. Thank you for staying till this late. Because it's a festival day for you. And
Yes,
happy Ganesh and Vinayak Chaturthi to all of you. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Same to you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Ma'am, can we start with the second resource person introduction?
Yeah, he's there, sir. Hello,
Hello?
am I audible, sir?
Yes, yes, you're audible.
Okay, now we are moving towards our next session. We are lucky to have Mr. Rajshekhar Uchil sir with us today. So on behalf of Sri Balasaheb Mane Shikshan Prasarak Mandal, Ashok Mane Group of Institution, it's a privilege to welcome a distinguished industry veteran and thought leader in the field of engineering and industrial automation, Mr. Rajshekhar Uchil sir, Deputy General Manager, Technical at Just Engineering Limited. On the session, Sensors to Boardroom Tech Trends. Mr. Uchil sir is an electronics and communication engineering graduate from the prestigious KREC Suratkal, class of 1984. He further expanded his expertise with an advanced diploma in marketing and management from IGNOU. With an impressive 40 years of professional experience, Mr. Uchil sir brings deep knowledge in vibration and acoustic sensor technology, calibration systems, and signal analysis. At Just Engineering, he currently leads all technical marketing support and Marcom activities, playing a critical role in bridging technical innovation with customer-centric solution. His past role include impactful contributions at Eurotherm Bell India as marketing manager, process and motion control, at ARC Advisory Group in business development, and at Namche, where he also served as marketing manager, process control. Mr. Uchil sir is professionally affiliated with several respected institutions. He is a member of Institution of Engineers and AMI MA and a life member of Council of Vibration Specialists, the International Society of Automation, and the Acoustical Society of India. In addition to his industry work, he is an active contributor to academia, serving as guest lecturer at several educational institutions and has presented papers at various national and international conferences, sharing his vast expertise with peers and students alike. So please join me in giving a warm welcome to a true industry veteran and knowledge leader, Mr. Rajshekhar Uchil sir. Sir,
Good
please.
evening, everyone. Thank you for a very nice introduction.
Yeah. Welcome, sir. Welcome again.
Yeah, thank you very much. So I will just go back to the slides. So I was on the slideshow.
Sir, one request, sir.
Yeah.
Please start with the presentation, PPT presentation option, or you
Yes.
just press F5 key on your PC.
F5, is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
1 second. F5 is not the presentation. F5 is the.
Sir, go to slideshow tab, slideshow button,
Okay, down, yes.
slideshow.
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 Slideshow is there.
Yes.
Seventh option from left side.
Yeah. No. So I got that.
Okay.
I've got the slideshow option.
Yeah.
Sir, ask him to share an entire screen.
This is
Yes,
the
yes.
Yes,
in
we are
fact, this
doing
is what I've done. Can you see the screen?
that. We
Yes,
can,
we can see
Yes.
the screen, sir, but it is not a PPT presentation.
Yeah. It is actually in PPT in my computer, but anyhow, okay. What I will do is decrease this. Now it's better.
yeah, sir. Yeah.
Okay, good. Because now I can see the individual slides more comfortably.
Okay, sir. No
Okay,
problem.
so what I'm looking at is today is going to be more technical and a standards driven presentation because the sensor to boardroom approach was evolved by the International Society of Organization ISA, and the ISA 95 standard really looks at the entire approach of sensor to boardroom. I shall be looking at the entire ISA 95, how it helps, how it has evolved over the time, what are the different sections, and how it case studies on how it is done. As I said, like yesterday, it can be interactive, so you can take questions anytime also, no problem. So the sensor to boardroom approach, this wording was maybe started by Invensys maybe 20-25 years back, where they're saying you could get all the data from the field right up to the control room and then coming to the COO or CEO level, CXO level. Today, with technology, this has become part of your ERP. So all the data goes into the SAP and Oracle also. And that's what we will look at here. So this is the ISA 95 modeling. So you have a make or operate, you have supply chain, products, securities, and any aspects. So this one, we are talking of the operations intersection where order, schedule, make, ship, your asset life cycle, supply chain life cycle, product life cycle, security life cycle. We are looking at all these activities as a production and how this information flows from the sensor to the CTO or CXO. So as you can see, these are the way that it goes, and you have the field sensors, which is the batch level. Then you have the automation where you have the PLCs or drives. You have the manufacturing operations management, which is also referred to as the MES, and the business planning and logistics, which is today your ERP, your SAP, Oracle, or any of them go on to the top of the pyramid. The way that the structure is, the ISA 95 is structured is that the data from your field, which could be a discrete control, continuous control, or batch control, goes on to the top level where you have the PLCs, you have maybe the batch management from a recipe viewpoint, you have manufacturing or automation, you have business planning and logistics, which means that, scheduling, breakdowns, maintenance, everything comes into the level 4. And the level 5, it looks at your overall data. As I said, can the CXO or the CFO get data on the financials? What happens in a process when the financials are affected? And that is what the top management is interested in. He's not interested if there's a breakdown today or a breakdown tomorrow. It doesn't matter for him. End of the day, if he's calculated that I should get 1 lakh today and I'm not getting 1 lakh, how much less am I getting? Your production man says that, yes, I should get 1 ton of steel at high quality. Am I getting that or not? If not, what is the financial effects down the line? Whether it's, let's say, even if it's a power plant, if the units are less, then today you are paid on the units generated. So every unit less than what was targeted, you lose money. So that's what your top management is looking at. The top owner of a power plant, so whether it's a government or a private, is looking at just how many units per day. So if someone tells him, sir, generator 1 is not working, generator 2 is not working, this pump is slipping, that he says, I am not bothered. I want 100 kilowatt per day. Are you getting? If not, how much less, and how much less is this going to affect my income? So that's what. So you have all this. Today, it is not necessarily an hierarchical, but you have data coming from all sides. So you have the product lifecycle management, you have the security management, supply chains, assets, and all this around the triangle. So you have the outside the triangle are the actual field activities which go out. So you have order to cash management, lifecycle management, supplies on the right side, your services, your decommissioning, your shipping, your invoice. Those are all the processes around that. So that is where the intersection of the activities and the hierarchy is what goes into ISA 95. Another thing that is also important is today is you have to, as we discussed yesterday, Industry 4. And smart manufacturing. So the smart manufacturing now therefore means that it is no longer purely the structured pyramid that you would see on the left-hand side, but you have an intersection of data from everywhere, and with the it's like a network. So you see a complete mesh of activities today going on, because the data not necessarily flows vertically from top to bottom. It could flow from all directions. However, ISA 95 still looks at the standard and sees, yes, and we are now encompassing, we are replacing the pyramid with the network model, and that is what is also today covered with the standard. The importance of these standards is the fact that these standards evolve with technology. So as technology evolves, the standards get modified. So these are all the activities which go on. So it could be a small factory or a large factory, but everything, as you can see in the slide, is really, decided. Your control and optimization, your monitoring, your alarm management, your process, everything goes into this information. And this is at the top level. As I said, ISA 95 takes your information right from the shop floor to the CEO. And the entire plant is now running on a complete closed loop control with control and alarm management and complete visualization with reports generated as and when required. So I will just run this video. I hope we can see it. Can you see the video?
No, sir.
1 minute, yeah. Yes.
No, sir, not yet.
No, because, okay, should I share this again, this link?
Okay.
So I'll just go back and share this link, because this will give you a good idea of how ISA 95 addresses. So I stop sharing this. So how do I share this? Give me 1 second to just share this video.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Just a 1 minute
Take
video.
your time.
Okay, so now when I go back to my sharing, how do I share this particular video instead? Yeah, okay, right.
Automation, which is why the International Society of Automation created the ISA 95
Is
standard.
it clear now?
Enterprise Control
Yes,
System
it is
Integration.
visible, but make it full
ISA
screen, sir.
95 is an international
Okay,
set of
okay, 1
standards aimed at integrating
Okay.
Yeah, yes, sir.
logistics systems with manufacturing control systems by organizing technology and business processes into layers. This standard outlines how an enterprise can set up an interface to communicate between these layers. ISA 95 is the most comprehensive definition of modern manufacturing information exchange globally. Manufacturers rely on these standards to define, develop, and integrate many complex systems and processes in Industry 4.0 and beyond. Help your operations, manufacturing, and IT personnel collaborate and reduce the risk, cost, and errors associated with implementing integration projects. Learn more about this important standard at isa.org/ISA95.
Some interesting stuff on what's going on.
Okay.
So I just go back to sharing the slides.
Yes.
Yes, you can see that now.
Yes, sir. Sir, again one request. There are many requests from the participant. Kindly make it slideshow presentation, sir.
Yeah. Now the problem is, and I can when I do it in slideshow. Okay, I will go back to slideshow. No problem. Let me try where the issue was. Okay, is it better now?
If possible, can you do, sir, slideshow, that 7th option, sir, from left side?
No. I'll do that. Yes.
Yes, sir. That tab.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Better? Can everyone see it now?
Okay, sir. Continue, sir.
Yeah. No, can you see the slide? I'm concerned about that.
Yes, sir. We can see, sir.
Okay. So this is what ISA 95 is. It's essentially standards at integrating logistics with the manufacturing control system. So it relies on the Purdue reference model. It's based on the architecture of the Purdue model. It can be applied across discrete, continuous, logistics, batch, any industry. It doesn't matter. So just to go through the details, I'll not go on in the full details. There are a number of parts on it. So you have part 1, part 2, part 3, which is on the manufacturing operations management, then defining the object, defining the good manufacturing operations. Important thing is it can be applied regardless of the degree of automation. Then how do the transactions take place? How does the messaging take place, including XML and others? Then technology independent services, which means that it can be applied in any factory in material, or whether it is PLC or a DCS, what ERP, it doesn't matter. The standard should always be technology and vendor independent. Then the latest one is the information exchange models. So these are things that all the standard looks at, and anyone who is looking at the layer 3, layer 4, which is on the MES and the interface to the ERP, should be aware of ISA 95. So this is again, we go back to the main pyramid. You have the physical production process. You are sensing the production process.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Slides are not changing at our end, sir.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry then. Okay, right. Is it clear now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, right. I'm sorry. So the quick one was just the standards that I went through, the 8 parts of the standard. I will share this presentation later on. You can distribute it. It's all public domain. I just looking at what parts, because the way the standard is evolved and how it continuously changes, they look at everything that is coming in the technology. So for example, part 4, you can apply regardless of the degree of automation. How is the business to manufacturing information? Because what information goes from the shop floor to your CFO? The CFO is looking at business. He doesn't understand technology. So that's where your business transactions takes place. Then your aliases for communication, information exchange. And this is the final thing. So as you can see here, the actual production process is level 0. Level 1 is the type of process. It could be discrete or continuous or batch. So you sense the production process, you monitor it, you have a recipe control. So for example, it's like making a cake in a large factory. So you have so much information, kilos of flour, so much kilos of sugar, so much kilos of butter. That's your recipe that is managed here. In fact, the ISA 95 works in conjunction with ISA 88, which defines recipe management in batches. Then you have the plant schedule, material use, and then you have the top layer, which is the company management. He is bothered about the sales orders, the shipping, the customer retentions, all the MIS statistics. So you can, relate this level 5 with this pyramid, which is your business planning and logistics. So the top man is not bothered about an individual item, an individual plant working. What is it working? So let's look at someone like the Adanis or the Tatas, which could have multiple factories all over the world. He is looking at a top picture. Does the factory in Bangalore produce so much per year, day, so much money per year? Is the factory in Bombay synchronized? Is the factory in Delhi synchronized? The CEO or the business people are looking at only the top business. It's the lower, the engineering level, the plant operation is at this level, the plant management is there at the manufacturing operations level. The field functions is all part of what we talked yesterday, the smart transmitters, everything. So that's at the sensing level. So while the information is available to the top man, he's not interested in many times what happens, whether a particular sensor is down or a motor is down, whatever. He's looking at how it gives my business information. And the ISA 95 looks at all this, including what information should be sent to the SAP or Oracle so that information is available in real time. So just the physical production process, the sensing and manipulation, the monitoring, the MES, that is the supervisory, it is a combination of the MES and the SCADA, then the business planning, where your ERP comes in. So these are all, again, a very simplistic picture of how ISA 95 looks at. We look at innovation, security, business, standards, robotics, scalability, end devices, consumers, and protocols. The standard addresses all these, and everyone who works around the standard, whether it's the organizations which develop the standard, it's a consultant who implements it, the end user who has to see how his plant conforms to this, all this comes as part of his process. So here you can see what is the data. So what is the information of the data? So when you understand the relationships, the codes, and what is the understand the relationships, understand the patterns. So for example, when you're talking about maintenance, I get information that this motor is failing. So you look at the root causes. What is the motor failing due to? Is it due to process problems or design problems? That's where your root cause is addressed. Then you understand the corrective action. So maybe the corrective action is to ensure that your motors are not loaded more than 75 or 80%. That's the corrective action. Then you have preventive actions also which to be taken. So maybe you have a fuses or an alarm indication which tells you immediately that to prevent any loading on the motor, there is an alarm and the motor gets switched off when the current exceeds more than 85% of the motor because it's getting heated. So that's where the process comes in. So then, as we said, an untapped value when you have physical process. The recoverable value is from the margin and cost. So what is the data available? How do you convert that into business viewpoint? So then you have the cascading of abnormal events are minimized by engineering for on-shift corrections or adverse corrections. Each minute breakdown, especially in a process industry, is money. A steel plant, for example, if the furnace by chance closes down or your rolling mill closes down, you are literally talking of lakhs per minute because that is the sort of cost that is incurred when the plant is down. So how do you prevent it? What sort of investment is done? So for example, today, as we said partly yesterday, condition monitoring. You might not put a small condition monitoring in a small plant where the output is not relevant. But if you talk of a large plant like the NTPCs, the Reliance, all the large process industries, you are talking of a large condition monitoring system worth a couple of crores on each system, because your importance of preventing the breakdown or being advised in advance that there's going to be a breakdown is money. So if I know that there's a gearbox problem, my AI and ML tells me that there is a gearbox is going to fail in 3 months, 6 months. I can plan and then during the shutdown get the gearbox so that there is no loss of production. All this, the lost margin and profit is my time. So if I can save downtime, that's money. So every day, so I don't mind investing more to save the downtime. And that is where all these asset management systems come into the picture along with ISO 95. When I put this into the system, I should ask, what is the business case? As an engineering manager, someone approaches you and you say you will put a PLC and SCADA. What is the business case that you will put up to your top management saying, with my system, with my process, should I invest in IIoT or smart manufacturing? What is the cross benefits? Is there really a benefit in putting a PLC? Do I get better consistency in the output? Do I prevent shutdown? So for example, how can a manufacturer apply to the existing system? When you look at your everything, when you have to put, you remember that not only do you have to put a PLC, you might have to improve your IT, you might have to, improve the cabling, you should have trained operators, all that investment also goes in. So an investment in a system on a process control system is not small. There's a lot of long-term effects that has to be seen, and that is what the business case. So your normal exchanges, maybe the speed is not fast enough. So because it's a real-time information that I want, I don't want a very slow internet which takes time for the CEO or CTO to get information. Even from a plant, maybe you have a plant in the remote area. I mean, we did automation in Belgaum, and there is a, the steel plant has a pump which is 20 kilometers away. Now, if the pump breaks down, because that's supplying water, the maintenance manager in the steel plant has to get information instantaneously and then take necessary action. So is there a good, reliable communication system? So maybe the old wire is not good. Maybe you have to put a 3G or 4G or 5G system. Second, what is the corrective action? Do I station someone at the pump place? Do I send someone? If the pump breaks down, do I do a redundancy operation? All that has to be seen. You also have to be flexible today because technology changes so fast, your customer demand changes so fast. So rather than going in a particular sequence, you may have to suddenly change. Maybe your customer says that no, instead of 10 numbers of A and 20 numbers of B, the customer says, no, I want 100 numbers of B. How do I change my production cycles? How do I change my recipe management? So all this, when you do, it is not only your process, but also maybe your manpower, maybe your technology. Maybe you say that I have, a trucks to take out the material. Instead of 10, maybe I require 20 trucks per hour because I have increased my production. How do I inform my dealer that all this is going to come fast? And again, what is it during an event? What happens? So technology and automation is something that you have to look at it, not just saying that I put a computer today. How will I run the computer? Do I have operators to run the computer? When the computer gives information, what do I do? Is my system capable of taking the information from the computer and doing action? So your real-time messages, can it go plus your IIoT interface? There is so much data which goes. Can it be simply made? Forget about all the complexity in the message. The idea is when a message goes from the shop floor to the manager, is it simple, easily readable? Does it very simply say motor down, and therefore the manager can take necessary action? I don't want some computer jargon to the manager, right? At the same time, to know why the breakdown happens, I should have this error message time-stamped, easily retrievable, so that when I want to go back and find out why the motor tripped or when it tripped, I will have all the data saying that the motor tripped on overcurrent on so-and-so day at so-and-so time. Tomorrow, if I have another problem in another motor, I know that motor 1 had this fault. Before motor 2 can develop any more faults, I know the corrective action that I took on motor 1 and I can replicate it. So your operations, your data, your corrective methods, everything is available, documented. At the same time, it should be able to easily readable, easily accessible to the operator. So for example, today, batch management. This is a very important thing today in, say, food, in pharma. What do you mean by batches? A batch is simple a recipe management, as much as when you do a cooking at home. So you take a particular quantity of flour, you take a particular quantity of oil, you take a particular quantity of, say, sugar and salt, then you grind it together, you put it in the oven. There is a time frame for the oven, saying that the oven will get preheated at 100 degrees, then baked at 200 degrees. Then you cool it, then you take it out, and then maybe you do a water treatment or whatever. So that's the entire thing on the ISA 88. It defines the batch control. ISA 95 takes all this data and puts it into the triangle that we saw in terms of the process. So both of these actually go together to enhance production, enhance quality control, improve data management. Anyone working in the food industry or pharma industry will recognize the fact that in their case, a top factory ISA 88 is the Bible. You can't do without that, because that's entirely batch control, documentation, and in terms of pharma companies or food, you also have security, electronic signatures, audit trail, everything. All that gets covered in ISA 88. So you have all this. You have smart manufacturing and IoT integration. You have workflow synchronization. So what data goes here, a production demand can automatically initiate. So for example, if I get a call saying that, yes, instead of a cake one, I require 100 cakes, that information comes from the top. But that top information has to be translated to the shop floor, saying that, yes, instead of type 1 of the flour, you have to change to type 2 of flour, or you have to increase your sugar, increase your oil, maybe put some flavoring agents. So all that has to automatically go. Data has to flow from top to bottom and bottom to top continuously. So you have an optimized manufacturing management, so you don't waste time. Technicians have the right parts at the right time, no breakdown. There is no purpose in my carrying 20 bearings or 20 gearboxes extra. I can't do that. Then also quality control, because such as life sciences, tracking and tracing is very important. FDA 21 CFR 11 ensures that every item or every process that you do, there is a mark saying who did it, when was it done, why was it done, and that entire trail has to be available for an auditor even after 1 month if he comes and audits your factory. I'll just give an example. We did for a pharma company in Bangalore some years back. It's a large centrifuge, and you are monitoring thermocouples at 8 different places in the storage furnace. However, now the rule from FDA is, if the process is, say, 100 hours, but if the thermocouple, even at the 90th hour, one thermocouple fails, the entire batch has to be scrapped. And there has to be a record saying that the batch was scrapped because the thermocouple was defective and this thermocouple was replaced on so-and-so date. And all this comes when the plant audit is done. So a pharma company today in India, for example, especially producing pharma items for US or Europe, is subject to very, very tough audits by the FDA or similar organizations in Europe, inspectors. And they look at each of these data saying, who was it? Who switched off the thermocouple? When did the alarm come? Did you remove the batch? Did your process say batch has to be scrapped? Did you say that batch can be used? Whatever. So these are rules for the food and pharma industry, which has to be very, very clearly done. So these are again examples: pharmaceutical manufacturing using ISA 88, food and beverage, oil and gas, consumer packaged goods. Again today, automotive is another one which will use this, because again, when you have product recall. So for example, you read in so many times, or you will get a message as a car owner saying that, please note that this particular batch of cars, there is a gearbox defective, come back. We will change the gearbox free of charge. How is it done? Because all these systems track each item, each component to each batch of cars. They can then say that this car batch from say June 2012 to July 2012 with these serial numbers on the car and these serial numbers on the gearbox are defective. Then you go back to your ordering information, you go to your marketing department and say, who have bought all these cars? Do we have their communication details on file? Then you get a phone call or a message or an email saying that, look, your car has a problem, bring it to the nearest service center. So all of these, the track and trace is very, very important. In food and pharma and consumers, there is no choice. Pharma, there is no choice. But then today, the same track and trail is also being applied to every other industry. Any questions? We can take them here, no problem. So that was just a quick glance at the overall this thing. Like yesterday, I would like to convert this into more of a discussion, because a lot of this is really high technology. So I didn't want to bore you with 200 slides. So the idea is the next half an hour we could take more Q&A. I'm open for questions now. Hello. Hello. Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
I would say, like yesterday, I would say that this presentation is highly technical, but then instead of simply going to slides and slides, we could take questions and understand the audience perception, because with 100 people on the call, each of
Yeah.
each person may be from a different industry.
Yeah, yes, sir.
So I'm absolutely open to take questions. We can address it and see what we can
Yeah,
help
yes.
each person on this call
Okay.
and add
Okay.
value to his presence here. Please go ahead.
So, dear participants, if any questions, you can ask, or you can write in chat box. You can put it in chat box.
Whichever way, no problem. You can put it in the chat box, and then Seema madam, maybe you can read out the questions also. No.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This is again, as I said, absolute state of the art. Many of the slides are today even a 2025 upgrade to the standards, so that it is up to date technical information. The organizations like ISA, of which I am a senior member, can help you even in training on these standards and certification also. Yeah. So questions, please. Don't bother whether the questions are too simple. Go ahead, because what happens is when you are asking questions, it not only helps you, it helps the other 100 people also on the call to understand what is going on. Maybe I skipped some slide, or maybe I did not explain properly. Please go ahead and tell me. No issue.
Yes. Participants, do you have any questions? Then please put it in chat box. So
Maybe
that
you only could start with something, madam, so that the other people take the,
Yeah, yes.
just to start the ball rolling. How many of the participants in this are aware of the standard, by the way, out of curiosity? Industry participants, are you aware of ISA 95, ISA 88? Hello? Mr. Varaprasad, Mr. Swapnil, are you aware of these standards? Hello. Yes. Especially the industry people, I would like to address that because this is a total industry driven standard. Mr. Swapnil, you have some, which companies, Mr. Swapnil? Hello? Mr. Swapnil, okay. So you are aware of the ISA 95 standards? You can unmute and talk. It will be easier. Anyone else from the industry who is aware of these standards and the life cycle in these? So was it too technical or was it, too abstruse? Any feedback, madam? Seema, madam?
Yes, we'll wait for some time.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, yes. Anything in the chat box? I don't see anything, so.
Yes, participants are requested to ask the question.
Because I believe that, otherwise it just becomes a one-way process, presenting another 100 slides,
Yes.
Yes, sir.
and especially because the participants today here are from academia and industry. I
Sir,
feel that
I'm
discussions
having one
will
question,
be
sir.
good.
Excuse me, sir. I'm having one question.
Yes, please.
Actually, what challenges arise when moving information from sensors to board level decisions?
So every part of the chain is important here. 1 second. So
Yeah. Okay. And why the real-time data is important for top management?
yes. So this is the way that the data moves, right?
Mm.
Now, why is it important from real time? So I will just give you an example of, let's say you're making food, right? Now your high quality cakes sell at maybe 1,000 rupees a kg, but then due to some problems during the process, maybe one particular flavoring agent is not there, right? And then the last moment someone tells you as the CEO, madam, you will not get the best cake today because I don't have this flavoring. Now your entire calculation or your money flow might be on the plan that I will make 100 cakes. Each cake is high quality, so I'll sell it at 1,000 rupees. So I will make 1 lakh a day. Now what happens with now your cash flow, therefore you are looking at 1 lakh per day, right? Now your operator is telling you that, madam, you're not going to get 1 lakh per day. You are going to get only maybe 90,000 per day because I don't have this flavoring agent, or that this particular oven is not working. So we will not get the best fit. So now you look at it over a large company. You look at it like a Reliance or a Jindal or anyone. Anything on the process which affects your final output is what the CEO does. From a sales viewpoint, my CEO is bothered about how much sales I do, what is the cash flow coming, right? He is not bothered about individual engineers, but he says, am I getting, say, a 25 lakhs cash flow per day? So he has to be instantaneously updated by the purchase saying that, yes, we have got these orders, we have invoiced, these are documents submitted to the bank, so we will get our 25 lakhs cash flow. Because he must be planning on doing something with that 25 lakhs. If he is not informed immediately, then it becomes too late for him to change his decisions. And all these are absolute real time. Maybe I have to maybe it's a very important customer. I have a plant in Bangalore which is not able to fulfill his requirements. I have a plant in Calcutta, or I have a plant in Delhi which can fulfill his requirements. I should tell them, no, that there is someone who wants to buy, this item. I can't do it in Bangalore. Can you make it in Delhi and send it to him? You look at multi-locational. You look at it from a CEO viewpoint. The CEO has orders. Let's say I take an example, let's say a car manufacturer like Maruti, who has half a dozen manufacturing sites. Now he suddenly gets an order from someone, and I want, 5,000 cars in the next 1 month. He also planned that, let us say I will send it out from Delhi. Now Delhi, there is a problem which he comes to know on the 20th day. Can he ring up his plants in Calcutta and Delhi and say that, look, we have a problem. Delhi cannot give 1,000 cars. Can you people make these balanced cars immediately? So you can't tell the plant man to make a car on the 30th day, right? So when he gets an information in real time, he can divert, or he can tell his end customer, sir, sorry, I'm not able to give you 1,000 cars. There is a production breakdown. I'll give you only 800. So when this is important, when it is a shipment on continuous things, you have to inform internally, you have to inform externally. And that is where real time comes. If I'm going to get a power shutdown within the next 1 day, so I know in advance. All of you must have seen announcements coming from the power boards to your house today, saying that there will be a power shutdown tomorrow or day after. So that is maybe information from the plant. Maybe your power plant in Raichur has said, sir, there is a problem in the generator. This generator is going to trip after 2 days. So they will tell you immediately that what happens because generator is going to trip. So instead of 100 kilowatt, 100 megawatt, Raichur is going to produce only 800 megawatt. 800 megawatt means then they'll have to do power rationing. So then you will get a message saying that, look, on so and so day, instead of power for 24 hours, you are going to get power only for 18 hours. The reason is the breakdown in the generator, no? That's where your real time comes.
Sir, there are many questions in the chat box.
Go ahead, no problem.
The first one is, how does the smart sensor differ from IoT to IIoT?
So your IoT is your basic smart sensor, but then industrial IoT is a sensor operating in industrial conditions. So, for example, if I am operating a sensor in a petrochemical industry, that sensor has to meet qualifications of the petrochemical industry. For example, safety, it has to meet ISA 84 standards because the petrochemical industry is an intrinsically safe area. If I'm using it, as I said, in a nuclear power plant, my accelerometer, which I can use on the normal car, I can't use it in a nuclear power plant. It has to be nuclear hardened. So the sensors will change. The moment the sensors change, there are so many other things which might change. When I put an intrinsic safe sensor in a petrochemical plant, I change the sensor. Then I also have to have barriers in between so that voltages from the control plant to the sensor do not go, or that the voltage and currents are limited. So all these comes in. So your sensor selection for industrial applications is quite different from what a simple IoT that I can do in my house. I cannot use a lot of things which I use in a simple domestic environment in industry. And that's where industrial IoT comes, because your industrial connections, your industrial protocols, the protocols that you use, maybe it's a simple wireless network that I can use in my house. It doesn't matter. I just pick it up from a mobile. Maybe that I cannot use in the shop floor. I don't have a receiver which takes that frequency, or that wireless is not allowed. For example, in many plants, wireless is not allowed. It has to be a physical cable. Then the cable, what type of networks am I using? Am I using a Profibus? Am I using Modbus? Am I using foundation field bus? Am I using HART? All this comes. I can't use a simple ordinary cable in the house which is just hanging around in the house. I can't do it in a plant. The cable has to go through cable trays. You might see that in a plant, the distance might be only 10 meters. But because the cable has to go in cable trays, the cable has to meet the plant requirements. It might go 10 meters, it might go 5 times that, because it has to follow industrial norms. If there is a power circuit, industries demand that there has to be MCBs, ELCBs, protection circuit. In the house, maybe I'm not really bothered. Okay, let it trip, no problem. I can't do that in the plant. So when I look at an industrial IIoT, any industrial application demands compliance to a lot of industry standards. It has to work. Maybe it has to work in a hot place like Jaipur at 45 degrees. or it's an item which is in the car. Now my car goes all over the country. Will that sensor work in the car at 55 degrees in Jaipur, at minus 40 in Ladakh, and in Trivandrum at 95% humidity? So that's all my industrial environment which comes in, no? And that's where your industrial IoT comes. The industrial environment in which it works is important.
Yes. So the next question is, sir, what is the ISA 95 hierarchy of plants?
I'm sorry, what is the?
What is the ISA 95 hierarchy of plants?
So this is what you see today. You can see this pyramid here.
Yeah.
So that's your field, your physical production process, which is your actual, let's say it's a power plant or a steel plant. So that's your process. If you go to Indal and you have a steel melting plant, right? Now you are sensing the process. You are sensing the temperature, pressure, flow, current, everything. And then it could be a discrete control, a continuous, or if it is something like pharma, then it is batch control. So that is your sensing of the plant. Then what is your workflow management? So for example, as I said, today, is there a recipe management? Is there a process synchronization? And then your final thing is your manufacturing operations management. So this is a bridge between what is top here. The business planning and logistics is today what we look at, your SAP or Oracle or any other ERP system. The ERP system is basically from the business viewpoint. Your information between your process and your ERP is your MOM, your manufacturing operations. So all this plant scheduling. So as I said, if there is a process plant and there is a change in production output, that production output has to be relayed to the top man in terms of business. He's not bothered whether it's a motor breakdown or a generator breakdown. What happens is that you are not going to get your 1 lakh sales of power that day. So it goes up to him. So that's your business viewpoint. So anyone in the business viewpoint will look at the fact that your CEO is not concerned on granular data. He wants to know how it is going to affect in terms of business, in terms of turnover, in terms of financials, in terms of production. Everything boils down to final money. If I cannot, suppose for example, there is an order to be executed and there is what we call in business a liquidated damages clause. So the question is whether I could delay and then I will lose money, or somehow run the plant and ask my other plants to make up the production to get that target. So otherwise I might lose money in terms of the liquidated damages that a company implies. Or I could lose a customer because a customer says, I want 100 cars. You don't give me 100 cars on so and so day, I cancel the order and go to another one. Or I'm making some very important item where my cash sales are important, that it has to be sold at so many pieces. Everything changes, finally boils down to my cash outflow. Yes.
Hello.
Yes, continue, madam.
Yes, there is one more question from Dr. Patil.
Yes,
how can data security be ensured while transmitting information from sensors to higher systems?
Yes. So here, now ISA 95 is your process of transferring data from the sensor to the boardroom. Now, there are two more standards normally which come into the picture. So for example, if it is wireless data, then you have ISA 100, which governs the wireless protocol. The second one is cyber security, and that is very, very important data, especially because your ERP data is in many cases open to the external world. So ISA 62243 talks of cyber security at each step. So at the field level, is my sensors, is my controller cyber secure? Can anyone hack it? When the data goes from step to step, is there a protection? Is there firewalls? Is there isolation? Is there a method that someone sitting at the top level does not meddle with my controller? I'll give you a simple example. If you look at HAL or ISRO, what they do, they have one computer where they receive all our emails when we send it to them. They have another bunch of computers which they are looking at when they are doing the aircraft flight control or the satellite control. These two computer networks are totally isolated. So if he has to read his email, he has to go to a separate computer. That is not the computer on which he is looking at the aeroplane flight data or the computer data. This is to prevent any virus that someone sends in a message going to his operations. That is basic isolation. In some cases, it is not possible. In some cases, there is a strong cybersecurity standard saying how there is an isolation to prevent anything from going wrong. So you could have product certification, you could have manpower certification, you could have process certification, all of these covered in a standard called IEC 62243. This is an industry, this is equivalent to what we would call as your Quick Heal or McAfee or Norton in your IT circuits. Those are all cybersecurity for the IT industry. IEC 62243 looks at cybersecurity for operational technology. It's a full session by itself, but I'd be very happy to talk on this or ask some of my friends who are experts in this to talk on this to the audience anytime. There are certification programs, so you get level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4 certification. So you get a certificate called you are an IEC expert. We have in Bangalore, I think more than 100 engineers at different levels of certification. These are international exams conducted by global organizations to ensure to get manpower improvement. Then there is another standard that if I'm making this, is my device secure? So there is a ISA secure, which gives you a confidence that that device cannot be hacked externally. That is the security. Then the entire plant network. So your entire plant, how do you prevent anyone hacking your system? So that's your plant-wide certification. All this goes into cybersecurity. It's an interesting and fascinating topic.
Yeah, yes. Sir, there is one more question from Dr. Manoj. What is the data accuracy at the sensor level critical for business decisions in the boardroom?
Right. Your data accuracy and sensor accuracy depends on your process. So if your process, for example, your steel melting is say above 1400 degrees. So whether it is 1400 or 1420, it doesn't really matter. At the high level, at the metal curing level. So when you are baking the metal, then you have to be bothered between 700 and 710 because the metal properties may change. Then you talk of high accuracy sensors, high accuracy conditioning. Each of this is that your final accuracy is your chain accuracy. Each part of the sensor, each part of the entire measurement chain, the sensors, the conditioners, the PLC, everything comes as the total accuracy, and that is known as the total chain accuracy that you measure. And depending on the process, depending on the standards compliance that you require, accuracies may change. I may have for a space, I may have a very, very accurate sensor. If it is a general application, it doesn't matter. I mean, if I'm talking of a building, when I'm talking of an air conditioning system, it doesn't really matter to you whether it is 24 degrees or 26 degrees. It doesn't really matter. However, if I'm doing temperature treatment, then even 1 degree matters. So then the entire chain accuracy is process related. So then I would have to change everything to meet those requirements. Space, defense, certain critical processes like pharma, it demands a very, very high accuracy. So if I'm saying that 1 ml of fluid has to be dropped, it has to be exactly 1 ml. More than 1 ml might kill they kill the patient because the medicine gets spoiled. So then my sensor which checks that is it exactly 1 ml has to be an accuracy of 0.1 ml to measure the accuracies. Everything in the measurement chain changes depending on the accuracies that I want. So at every process.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, one more question is from Ms. Anupama Patil. That is, what ethical concerns can arise from using sensor data for decision making? What ethical concerns? Hello, sir.
Yes.
What ethical concerns can arise from using sensor data for decision making?
The question is, in certain places, are you concerned about what could happen to the final person
Yeah.
who takes the output? Now,
Yeah.
in the pharma industry, for example, or in the food industry, your business ethics plays a very important part. So if you have said that your medicines are going to be absolutely no side effects, then you have to ensure that there is absolutely no compromise. You are willing to destroy medicines, suffer that loss to ensure that you will meet those requirements. But on the other hand, sometimes you say that, sort of the chalta hai, it doesn't matter if it is a slight impurity, maybe a slight side effect will happen. That's your business ethics which comes in. But it's a very moral or legal, more a moral question rather than a legal question. You as a business manager have to decide how much of it is going to be on ethical decisions. There is a full policy on ethics in any company. There are certain companies which are extremely strict on business ethics, and they say no compromise whatsoever. If it doesn't work, it doesn't go out. That's it. Well, other companies will say doesn't matter. Okay, we will send it out. A little fault acceptable. So
Okay.
the ethics also depends on the companies.
Yeah.
The company philosophy, the company management. It's not just the ISO 9000. The ISO 9000 is a document, but much of this is the internal, feeling or the behavior of the people inside. So if you say no, it's no. So if there are rules saying that you will not take the lift more than 4 people, you will not take. You can not say that no, it can accommodate one more person. The operator will say, sorry, the rules are 4 and I will not change. Those are part of the business ethics of the company. That very clear, we will not compromise on anything on safety. If you have to put a safety belt, now when you visit many companies, you are asked to put safety glasses, safety shoes, safety jackets, everything. And there are certain companies which will not compromise. So if you go in a slippers to the factory, they'll say you're not allowed. You have to have business shoes. My colleagues went to England and they were asked to take industry shoes from India, saying that the factory rules are very clear. You cannot wear normal shoes. It has to be industrial shoes. So there's absolutely no compromise. If I visit many of the MNC companies in Bangalore, they say, yes, you have to change the shoes or you have to have industry shoes before you come to do shop floor variation. So those are all part of the business rules of the company. So those are business ethics built into the system. So at no chance is it compromised. If you have to put safety glasses, they say you have to put safety glasses, whether you like it or not. You put the safety glasses when you go to the shop floor. You put a safety helmet when you go to the shop floor. When you are doing work on a lift, you have to put safety belts. Those are all rules of the company which there is no tolerances. Many of the top companies which are very strict do not accept any tolerance. They say, if you don't put, you don't come. That's it.
Hello.
Yes.
Excuse me, sir. There is one more question from Dr. Digvijay.
Yes.
In what ways sensor analytics help leaders forecast and plan for the future?
What does system analytics?
Sensor analytics. How? In
Sensor
what ways?
analytics
Sensor
is, for
analytics?
example, I'll give a very simple example now. When the sensor can get, yesterday also I went on to the smart sensors and I said that information from the sensor working or accuracies come to the control room. I'll give a very simple example. You have a noise level monitoring systems in many parts of the country, including say in Delhi and all. So in these systems, you have 30 or 40 sound meters all over the city, and we are looking at noise data. What we also do from the computer is send an information 4 times or 5 times a day to the microphone and check back to see whether it is working or not. So if I get an information that it is not working and it is in a critical area, I have to replace it immediately. Maybe from a town viewpoint, it is acceptable, it doesn't matter. But if it is in an airport, now a noise monitoring system Bombay or Hyderabad, if I get an information that the microphone is not working because of my sensor analytics, I should shut down the system, change the microphone immediately, because this is a mandatory requirement. So I know that the sensor is drifting. I can do a certain amount of correction in my conditioning amplifier, in the sensor, or in the control system. But if it goes outside that, for example, if I have to do noise measurements and I say the accuracy is within plus minus 1.5 dB, if I find that anywhere in the chain the error is more than that, so then I will have to do a calibration, or I may have to change the sensor or change the conditioner, whatever, because my process demands that it is only 1 degree accuracy. In a place like ISRO, where they do system calibration of the data acquisition system, and they say it's 1 millivolt, we check all the 500 channels before the measurement. If any channel error is more than 1 millivolt, we isolate that channel. So when they do the measurement, they may have 600 channels, because some channels may be bad, so they skip that channel. You have a software which says, yes, I go from 1 to 100, the 101 a channel is bad, I skip it, go to 102. So because in the space, there is no compromise on the accuracies. If that channel is not reading 1 millivolt, please skip. So that is part of the sensor analytics, the data analytics, everything. And then after the test is over, then I look at, is it a problem with the sensor? Is it a problem with the conditioner? Where is the problem? I cannot interrupt the test, because those are time bound. If a satellite has come for launch, and 1 hour is given, I have to clear the satellite within 1 hour. So I will not compromise. I will say, yes, I have configured the system such that I am supposed to measure 500 channels. I have 550 channels as redundancy. So if there is any problem during the process, or even after I run the data, I can immediately find that, yes, channel number 10 was giving wrong data, remove it and do the analysis with the other channels. So that's all part of the sensor analytics. I do not compromise on my process. I have a redundancy there to take care of that. If it is safety systems, I may have 2, 3 thermocouples, so that if one thermocouple fails, the second one takes over. If the second one also fails, the third one takes over. If more than 2 fail, then I get an alarm in the control room saying that this control loop is faulty. So the accuracies, the self-diagnosis, the signature analysis of the sensor, all depends on the process and what goes on in the entire control room process. So if it says that that sensor is faulty, can I isolate that sensor? Can I stop controlling that? Can I shut down the plant? Everything is process dependent. In case of pharma, for example, the rule says that if there are 10 thermocouples measuring temperature for a process, and even in a 100-hour process, even at the 95th hour, if one sensor fails, if the standard says that the sample has to be destroyed, it has to be destroyed immediately. It has to be a record saying that thermocouple failed. We do not know what will happen to the sample. Sample has been destroyed. It has been marked. People want to bypass it, but then if you get caught by your auditors, your plant is closed down. So you want to take a risk. That's your ethical decisions. But then if you try to compromise and there's an audit tomorrow, you could say they might come and close your plant. You have pollution control warnings. In some cases, the pollution control man says that this is only an initial warning, but if it goes to a higher level, I'll close the plant. And you say, okay, it doesn't matter. He's not closed. I'll keep on polluting. That is part of your ethical concerns, that you don't look at the fact that your pollution control is affecting, say, the neighborhood villages. Just because the pollution control man says that, it has not reached the 100 ppm limit, so you are safe. For all you know, someone may have, given him some money not to read 100. But it's an ethical concern. You know that the villages nearby are going to get affected because of the poison that you are spewing out. So if your plant is strict, you will say, no, I will not compromise. I will shut down the plant, rather than, compromising, saying that just because it is not 100, but it is 90, it is safe. No, those are ethical concerns. And some places, they will shut down the plant, take a risk on the cost, but saying that by business ethics, we don't want to run a plant which poisons the atmosphere. On the other hand, if it goes above 100, the Pollution Control Board comes and locks your plant, the repercussions are even worse. Because then you have other problems also. Tomorrow the market says that your plant was shut down because Pollution Control Board is high. Your market reputation goes. Market reputation is worse than other business because no one will buy from you for the next 5 years because they'll say, no, this plant was not, running properly. We don't know what all goes inside. Yes.
Okay, sir, one more
Yeah, go
participant
ahead,
is
go ahead.
here.
No
He
problem,
can
no problem.
ask question. Yes, sir. Please.
Yes, please.
Sir, I have a small question here.
Yes, please.
Can sensor to boardroom
Yes.
replace human intuition in strategic decisions?
I would not say that it replaces 100%, but in some cases where it may not be possible for a human being to physically look at a very large amount of data, in a plant where 200 to 300 or 500 sensors are there, would it be possible for you to check alarms of all this in real time? No, right?
No.
So your plant takes care of that, tells you an alarm, tells you some are yellow alarm, some are red alarm, and then sometimes as part of the control strategy, you may have decided that if in this section of the plant, if 3 or more alarms are red, then you close the section. So sometimes you put the entire system in automatic mode. Sometimes you can put in manual mode. It depends, again, process related.
Yeah, yes, sir.
You see, when you are driving a car, you are in control of the car, for 3-4 elements. But if you are, when driving the car, suppose you have 5 more cars running parallel to you, and you are the master, you may not be able to control all the 5 cars, right?
Yes, sir.
So then you would prefer it to be automatic, saying that I will not be able to manage all the 5 cars automatically sitting in the control room.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay.
So it's all process dependent, system dependent. I mean, it's like taking in a college. You can maybe take manual attendance for 10, 20 students, you may not delay. But when you have 200 students per class and you have 5,000 classes, then you would go into, RFID or anything because it's ease. Easing calculations, you are saving time, everything. And then immediately, end of the day, someone asks how many students came today, how many students were absent. You can't sit and do it with your register, right? But if it is connected to an ERP system, the data can be within real time. At 10 o'clock, you will get a report saying how many students have come to the college today, which section, which class are less or more, whatever. So that's your information on real time.
Okay, sir. So participants, are there any questions from your end? So I think, sir, it is over.
Any feedback, most welcome. Because some of it I know will be very dry, some of it is highly technical. I leave it to you to say how we should change it or what you want to change. No problem.
Yeah.
So always contact me, participants. This is my phone number and email. If there's any feedback, it would be very good for me to understand how to improve, because we would always like to, improve our presentation in terms of technology, in terms of presentation, in terms of interest to audience.
Yeah.
So
yes.
You can always send a feedback later on saying that, this was not clear, that was not clear. No problem.
Yes, sir. Yes, definitely, sir. Sir, so I'm here to present vote of thanks. So on behalf of organizing committee, I sincerely thank our esteemed resource person, Mr. Rajshekhar Uchil sir, for sharing valuable insights with us today. Your talk was not only technically enriching, but also a great reflection of your 4 decades of hands-on experience in engineering, vibration and acoustics and industrial automation. We truly appreciate the way you connected complex technical topics with real world applications, and your deep knowledge of both the engineering and marketing aspects of the field clearly came through. So your contributions to the industry and your ongoing engagement with academic institutions as a guest lecturer are truly inspiring for professionals and students alike. So on behalf of everyone present, we extend our heartfelt thanks for for making the time to be with us and for delivering such a thoughtful and impactful session. Thank you once again, sir. We look forward to learning more from you in future, sir. I'm sure many of us here have found your experience and technical depth truly enlightening.
Thank you very
So,
much. I do hope that the presentation was to your satisfaction.
yeah, yes, sir.
And that any other information that you want on this, in depth on any of the topics, because in 1.5 hours, we're trying to cover a lot of information. We can
Yeah,
always
yes.
do an in-depth talk second time, online, offline, at a mutual convenience. No problems. And my contact details are there. Any of the participants can always get in touch with me, either directly or through the organizers. And I'll be
Yes.
very happy to help them out also.
Yeah, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, madam. And if there is any, I hope everyone found it interesting and
Yeah.
didn't get bored.
No, sir. No, definitely not, sir.
Mhm.
Yeah. It is truly in line with our session topic.
Right, madam is also electronics.
Yeah. I'm from electronics department.
Okay, very nice. As I'm saying, I am also electronics engineer,
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
but I have been involved in automation in various lines, and then as members of these societies, I have managed to pick up some knowledge.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Right,
Your
madam?
ocean
Thank
of
you very
knowledge,
much
sir.
again. I
Your
see that
ocean
more
of knowledge, sir.
people are on the call.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you, everyone. Thank you to the organizing committee for this opportunity. Good night. Happy Ganesh
Yes.
Chaturthi.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. I will remain in contact with you, sir. Thank you.
No problem. I'll be
Yes.
most welcome to help you for anything that you wish.
Yes, sir. Yes. Thank you.
Right, madam. Good night.
Good night. Good night, sir.
Yeah, 1 minute. Someone has raised the hand. Mr. Prashant. Hello.
I'm not
Mr.
exactly
Prashant
getting.
Patil or someone I saw raise their hand. That's why I wanted to, check whether Mr. Prashant, is it? I thought you raised your hand.
Mr. Prashant, are you there? You can unmute yourself and you can ask if any question.
You can ask question directly, no problem. I think one Prashant Patil or someone, I saw a hand raised.
Okay. We'll let you know, sir.
Yeah,
if
no,
he's
so if
having
it is
any
something we
question.
can wait before we close.
Yes.
Yes. So Nilesh, thank you very much. I hope you
Yes.
found it useful. Yes, Mr. Praveen Chavan, thank you very much.
Yes.
So most of them are faculty or industry or how is it?
Some of are from industry and remaining are faculty members.
Okay, of all the colleges nearby and all, is it?
From Pan India, sir.
Okay, very nice. Thank you, madam.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you again for everyone here. Thanks for the interaction. Thanks for the very, very fascinating questions, because when you start asking questions, then more and more interest comes on both sides and knowledge is shared by everyone in the pool. Again,
Yes.
thank you. Good night.
Good night, sir. Thank you. Participants, thank you very much. You can leave the meeting. Thank you.